NehemiYAH. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
The Sabbath in this deal. All praise. Praise to the Most High.
You said Psalm 16? Yeah. We write that down.
Gotta keep it together.
Is there?
Sabbath in there. Y'all all quiet? What y'all embarrassed or something? All right, there we go. There we go.
That's right.
So then the song said you gotta be ready to die for.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, bro. Right.
Even with death on the table.
You know how it be when somebody about to eat, we get all quiet and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Child time.
Yeah. You
I
know,
think about the food.
yeah.
I'm start hearing them belly.
Grumbling and rumbling.
Burn enough calories, it happen.
Mhm.
Let me put this on vibrate.
Let's go.
Hey man, like y'all was watching that video when you and Judah was at that dude's house and he wouldn't let you talk. You were just talking over. You talking about the reprobate mind?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, I was
No.
watching that. I was
No.
like, hey,
No. You know the part that killed me. This is the part that killed me. We said, well, hold on, let's pray. You see, Malaki.
yeah, man, like,
Malaki and Judah looked at each other like,
you know, they was on one accord.
Man, I'll never forget that.
Hey, he was like, Malaki got up.
That's rocks. Like what y'all on?
man, it's all. Hey, look, it'd be a good time to go to war with your brothers, man. Cause I remember me and Yoav and we pulled up. This when I was first in the troop, and so I'm looking for static, right? And we seen
We said I'm looking for.
and we see some Christians at the gas station. They had the mic and everything, right? And I was like, boy, there they go. Let's go over there, you know, and handle them. And me and Yoav, we went over there. Man, I would say about 10 minutes later, we were surrounded by all them Christians. But me and Yoav, we was back to back.
Right.
And he going in on them over on this side. I'm going in on them on this side. But after all that, right? After the first initial attack and this and all that, or whatever the case may be, we got their numbers. We hugged because I just asked them. I said, "Do you believe in the Messiah that the Bible's talking about?" They say, "Yeah." I said, "You sure you believe in the Bible that the Messiah talked about this and all that or whatever?" And they was like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, then after that, you know, we'll talk later. You know, so y'all continue doing what y'all doing or whatever, but we'll talk later." But just going in that battle and knowing that he had my back and I had his back, that was just a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing that gets me, because I talked to you about this book right here. Like I said, if I could ask you, all these books you got in the house, but you ain't got this
Yeah,
one.
I see unique.
You see what I'm saying?
Right,
You ain't
right.
told me about this one?
Right.
And we talk about Esther, talk about Daniel. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. It's just right in this book.
Yeah.
Right here. It's a King Nebuchadnezzar. He's right in this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anything that you want to pull out the 66, you come straight here. But he never want to talk about it because, you know, I mean, and
He didn't get taught
when
that.
you talk about drama and want to bring arguments, all I got to do is walk down the street. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be butting heads, man, but it's just interesting how you could be, and I mean, I think YAH'KI even talked about how book don't even be, you have all this stuff on the back of the wall and stuff, but don't even have the true book. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. And then when you bring some more truth to sharpen the swords in, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, wait a minute now.
Like some holy water or something.
Yeah.
Because you start getting to that Maccabees and you go to like chapter 3, 48, you see like, oh man, this seemed like the picture of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? And then you start going like,
well, how about, you know, with Judah? So right off the bat, that's Daniel right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what's Bell and the Dragon? It's Daniel again.
Oh.
You know, it's all in this son of a gun. You know, so if Daniel's in 66, how come you can't talk about Daniel in this?
In the Apocrypha, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean,
they all combine books.
You know,
they all combine.
some of them probably was connecting right with the 66, but like you said, it's capitalized. I mean, capitalized. I never forget. I remember Daniel Solomon said this one time. It was so funny. He said, you know, if they ever had all the books together, you know, Jubilees, Jasher, and everything, he said the book price stand the size of a kindergarten. But nobody would ever read it because
Read
it's
it,
that
yeah.
long.
It's that
So,
big,
you know what I'm saying?
Said we're taller than the gateway arch.
Take that John, let me read the book of John right here. It tells you everything was written that was done by the Messiah. The world wouldn't be able to contain the books.
Right.
You know
It
what I
said
mean?
the world. You see how big the world is.
This is John chapter 20, John 20:30. And it says, and many of the signs truly did the Messiah in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that the Messiah is the Messiah and the Son of Yah, and that believing you might have life through his name. Right? And then right here is John 21:25. And there are also many other things which Yahushua did, the which if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen.
That's how many miracles he did. There's so many things we don't even know what he did that the disciples saw. He could be flying in the sky, you know what I'm saying? All types of stuff that they saw.
Walking on the water was enough.
He said, you will do greater works than me.
Right.
And we don't even know what the work is that he did. And that's crazy. And it's kind of, it's not like he leave you with it's not like he leave you with a cliffhanger, but it's like he lets you see more basically than like even what he did. Not as in like we're even superior to him, but to do, it's like your son, you want your son to be better than you. Right? And that's what you teach your son and grow him up to be and train him up to be better than you. So I feel like that's what the Messiah is applying when he like says that type of stuff, but not to be better than him, but to
unlock your full potential. You're greater than what you know.
Right.
Then you realize you're way greater than the slave that America has depicted you to be. Way greater. You're a son of the living power.
Man.
Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom, family. So everybody in the building. Shalom, family.
Y'all climb on in, hit that like, hit that shirt button. It's child time.
Sir.
Let's eat.
All right, I'm gonna let YAH'KI do his thing, do the shout outs of the names.
the butchering of the names. Benediction Long, Shabbat Shalom.
Pull up, Ak, you local.
Oh yeah, okay. Shem Mordecai Israel, Shabbat Shalom. Yael Israel, Shabbat Shalom. Jodia Jordan, Shabbat Shalom. Shemya Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Yakiba Days, Shabbat Shalom. Abriya, Shabbat Shalom. Slim Thugger, NehemiYAH, Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, he's Harvey. Malcolm X, yeah, Slim Thugger. Yeah.
Terrell Polk, Shabbat Shalom. Uriah Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom. King Carp, Shabbat Shalom. Daily Dose of Daniela, Shabbat Shalom. Queen Imuna Ariella, Shabbat Shalom. What was that, Mally? G Rob, Shabbat Shalom. Lebanaya. You local, man. Pull up.
Yeah, he say, you just come in.
Pull up, man.
Wait on.
12 Tribes Athlete, Shabbat Shalom. Kila Olam Kazdu, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Boxing, go legends.
Yeah, boxingologist.
Boxingologist. That's Gabriel. That's our Gabriel from KC.
Okay.
Yahoo, what it do?
Shabbat Shalom.
Study of boxing.
Eliyahu Gabar Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom. Daisy Ben Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom. Blessings to you as well, Big Boss Man 85. We thank you for your support and your prayers. Daphne, Eliyah, Israel, Shabbat Shalom, Queen. How you doing?
You know how his voice, you know how his voice. He's
Yeah,
you know how it goes, y'all. Okay. Don't be laughing back there. Don't be laughing back there, bro. Because you be doing the same thing when you at home.
He done lighten up a little bit.
Dino, Shabbat Shalom, my brother.
Now he just like
Yeah, you know, that deep voice. Troy Thomas, man. Troy Thomas, Shabbat Shalom, my brothers. Shabbat Shalom out for all y'all that entered into the group. Shabbat Shalom to all my brothers and my sisters that are here today with us. And Adiyah Awaken, yeah, Shabbat Shalom, my
Shabbat
sister.
Shalom, family. Yeah, that's why I'll let you read the names.
Yeah, because it's a lot, but it's all good.
Nah, not even that, because I don't want to slaughter nobody's name.
Well, you know me, it's like, hey, it is what it is. I didn't pass 8th grade, you know. Alina Ephraim, Shabbat Shalom.
Like say Eliana Ephraim.
Eliana, see, you better than me. Eliana Ephraim, Shabbat Shalom.
West Side sister, live in Maryland now.
Yeah, I remember she was at the what you call it then? Okay, Shabbat Shalom. You know,
I know my birds.
Y'all share this with your friends and family and your naysaying cousins and all that. You know, we about to eat. Our brother Uriel, he has a excellent meal lesson for us. So let's get it. We're gonna be reading out of the Psalm 16.
Yeah,
opening
prayer. It's Psalm 16. Talk about my brother.
Watch the little taste. Let's get it.
Let's get her done.
Let's get her done. All praise, glory, and honor.
All
praise
to the Most High. I want to create and possess of all there is.
Psalm 16. Preserve me, O Yah, for in thee do I put my trust.
Hallelujah.
O my soul, thou hast said unto the Most High, thou art my master. My goodness extended not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied, that hasten after another God.
That's right.
Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. The Most High is the portion of my inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Most High, who have given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons.
Hallelujah.
I have set the Most High always before me.
That's right.
Because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved.
That's right.
Therefore, my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither will thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand, there are pleasures forevermore.
Hallelujah. Selah.
Yahu.
That was powerful. That was that Psalm of David.
Yes, sir.
Psalm 16. A prayer against the evil and greedy conspirators and the highest workers of Satan. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh El Elyon, we come to you in the name of Adon, the Master, Yahushua Mashiach. We take authority over Satan and all his evil spirits from our position at the right hand of you, Yahweh. Right. Seated above every name that is named, and the power and the authority of Adon, the Master, Yahushua Mashiach. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against an attack, to break the back and bind the strong man powerless over every heathen nation that is oppressing the 12 tribes of Israel this very second. We cast them down and we cast them out to a herd of swine in the authority, in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, and by his mighty and precious blood we pray. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war. We loosen all your ministering angels of warfare. Send forth your most militant and elite angelic warriors to break the backs and crack the skulls of every ruler of darkness. To break the backs and crack the skulls of every principality over all the worldwide organizations. The 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, the Rothschild bloodline, the Astor bloodline, the Bundy bloodline, the Collins bloodline, the DuPont bloodline, the Freeman bloodline, the Kennedy bloodline, the Lee bloodline, the Onassis bloodline, the Rockefeller bloodline, the Russell bloodline, the Van Dunn bloodline, and the Merovingian bloodline, the House of Saud over Saudi Arabia, the House of Windsor, all the popes, Ayatollah Khomeini, Jared Kushner, Henry Kissinger, Robert Gallo, Bill and Melinda Gates, Anthony Fauci, all their bloodlines. We bind all of them powerless. We bind the strong man over every Masonic order and every religion, the Catholic Church and Vatican City, communist empires and Yahwist governments, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, the CIA, MS-13, La Cosa Nostra, the Mafia, Boko Haram, Hamas, every street gang and drug cartel, the Illuminati, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the World Council of Churches, the Americas, every common market nation, Canada and Mexico, every organization that has rituals that are contrary to the word of Yah and the authority of Yahushua Mashiach. We take authority over every foul and evil spirit, authorities, princes, kings, powers, world rulers, and the highest and mightiest servants of Satan. We bind them to be powerless. We bind them to be powerless in the mighty name of Yahushua Mashiach. Yahweh, in the authority of your only begotten beloved Son, we pronounce the judgments written in the scriptures upon these evil and greedy conspirators in and over these worldwide organizations. As it is written, Yah, we ask you, we beg you to bring upon them the judgments found in Psalm 109, that chapter, Psalm 149, that chapter in Revelation 18, that chapter, Yahweh El Elyon, the owner, the creator and possessor of all there is. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, we bring before your throne all the sick in Israel, all who may be plagued in mind, body, and spirit. Your word says, whatever we bind on earth is bound in heaven, and whatever we loose on earth is loosed in heaven. We claim authority. We claim authority in Yahushua Mashiach, who is seated at your right hand right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. We loosen all your ministering angels of health. Command them to rain down a healing that is complete, a healing that is understood right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against an attack, to break the back and bind the strong man called the coronavirus and the fear of it that's plaguing the minds of your people. We declare it powerless. We cast it down and we cast it out through a herd of swine. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against an attack, to break the back and bind up every sickness and disease that's afflicting your people this very second. We declare them all powerless. We cast them down and we cast them out through a herd of swine. In the authority, in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, and by his mighty and precious blood we pray. Yahweh El Elyon, Yahweh Tzibaoth, Master of the heavenly armies, we loosen all your ministering angels of warfare. Command them to rain down and crack the skulls of every virus and every sickness that's plaguing your people this very second. Command them to establish a protective border around your saints. Command them to come against, confound, and put down every sickness and unclean spirit that is in opposition to the well-being of your people. Command them to render a judgment in our favor right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, and by his mighty and precious blood, we pray, Yahweh El Elyon, Yahweh Yireh. We loosen your ministering angels of provision and blessings. Command them to shower us with the blessings of Abraham, your friend. Command the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 to chase us down and overtake us. Command Ruach HaKodesh to give us a continual overflow of your spirit. Command the fruits, the gifts, and signs of Ruach HaKodesh to chase us down and overtake us.
That's right.
That wherever the sole of our feet tread, we may boldly declare the kingdom of heaven is now.
Right now.
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 Accept our prayer
That's
and
right.
accept our petition in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. And by his mighty and precious blood we pray and we wage war on Satan
That's
and
right.
his entire kingdom.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yahoo. We're doing this. Bust your guns,
Boy,
baby.
look here, man. Boy.
Yeah. Get the spirit.
Look here, man.
I felt it in my head.
We got
Look here,
motion.
man. Ooh-wee. Hallelujah.
Yeah. That's right. What's going on, brothers?
You know, we gotta catch up to our souls.
Hey. I got feeling.
Don't feel like Hebrew shit.
All
That's
praise.
right.
All right, so y'all see the topic today is community paths. So it's community paths, but we must choose one. So with that being said, we're gonna get this started. We're gonna start here in Genesis chapter 2. Oh shoot. Let me share the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, I got it. I was waiting for him to,
Yeah, for the bring it up now. I'm gonna start in Genesis chapter 2, verse 16.
This is chapter 2, verse 16.
Let me make this big. Now, what do you say?
And the Most High commanded the man,
Right,
saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayst freely eat,
right.
but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it.
Come on.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof,
Mhm.
thou shalt surely die.
That's your what?
Surely die.
So you see, this is a command given by the Most High. He told Adam, you can eat from any tree you want except this tree. As soon as you eat from this tree, you'll die. Come on.
And the Most High said, it is not good that man should be alone.
Right?
I will make him an helpmeet for him.
Come on.
And out of the ground, the master Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
Come on.
And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the master Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib, which the Most High Yah had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
So you notice even before Adam had did any commandment to keep him, he was already blessed. So before he done anything, the Most High had blessed Adam with a woman, animals, and a place to live, right?
That's right.
Come on.
And Adam saw it, said, this is now bone of my bones,
Right?
and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother,
Mhm.
and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked.
They were both what?
They were both naked,
Mm-hmm.
the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
So notice it said both of them was naked, right? So we're gonna jump over to chapter 3. So keep that in mind. Oh shoot, how do you go back? Go to the next chapter. All right. So I'm gonna go to Genesis chapter 3. We're gonna start in verse 1. Come on.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1.
All right.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the master Yah had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So notice, even with Satan, he gave them the commands right back. So everybody understand the commandments of God. Say that's how Satan tempts you or gets you to go off. He calls back the commandments to you. Let you know what commandments that you're supposed to keep, but he calling back to you so that you can go off, or you cannot have an excuse. That's his whole thing, that you cannot have an excuse. You cannot say he did this or he made me do this. Satan don't make anybody do anything. It's up to you. You make those decisions. Come on.
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
All right.
For Yah doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Come on.
And ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
She did what?
Saw that the tree was good for food.
See, nowadays everybody is looking for things physical. That's a lot of people's problems. Everybody's looking for things that they can see. They're not looking for the things that they can't see. So she was looking at the tree, how good it looked, right? Everything that looked good ain't good.
Right.
Come on.
Like the old saying goes, everything that glitter ain't gold.
Most definitely.
Right.
And that it was pleasing to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
To make one what?
To make one wise.
See, nowadays you see a lot of people they searching after knowledge. Everybody's looking for knowledge to keep them what they call aware or woke or conscious. That's what I'm looking for. Everybody's trying to be conscious. So that same mentality that everybody has now, it was in the garden. That's the same mentality that was in the garden.
Be as a God.
To be conscious, to be aware. So that's a whole, just like with Paul, like he said, before he knew sin was dead. But once he realized what sin was, then he became aware. Because you don't get convicted of sin unless you know what sin is. Now your conscience is woke. Now you feel that feeling inside your mind. When you go off or you go against a guy, you get a guilty conscience.
Right.
That's how you get a guilty conscience. Now your conscience is alive. But before then, your conscience was dead.
Right.
Come on.
She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Right.
And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons.
Come on.
And they heard the voice of the Elohim, Yah, walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden. And Yahweh called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked.
Because I was what?
Because I was naked.
You remember the first chapter told you that they was naked and they wasn't ashamed. Now they are ashamed. Why are they ashamed? Because now they knew they went against God. They knew that they went against God. Right? So that's why they sold them fig trees to themselves. Come on.
And I hid myself.
And I did what?
And I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me.
The who?
The woman thou gavest to be with me.
Right.
She gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
Come on.
And the Most High Yah said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me.
Now you see, everybody is blaming each other. Nobody want to take accountability. We have to take accountability for our own actions. It's up to you. Like at the end of the day, it's like life and death is in the power of the tongue.
That's
It's
right.
like you choose life or death. That's why when the Most High was talking to Moses, he told the children of Israel, choose today life or death. Like we get the choice to choose whether we want to live or whether we want to die. And based off our actions, it determines our fate. Come on.
The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Most High Yah said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shall thou go.
Drop that. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 13. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 13. And we're going to start in verse 11. Genesis 13, verse 11.
You got it? Genesis chapter 13, verse 11. Then Lot chose him.
Go back. We're going to sort of go back. We'll go back to 8. Sort of 8.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. And Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren.
Come on.
Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes,
Right.
and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered.
That it was what?
Well watered.
So now you see what he's looking at, right? He's like, look, it's well watered over there, right? Come on.
Everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Before the master destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Most High,
Right.
like the land of Egypt,
Right.
as thou comest unto Zor.
So now you see with Lot, he's looking over there, he see how beautiful the land is, right? He getting caught up in the eye, or the pleasant of the eye, just like Eve. Okay, you gotta remember, we are Eve now. So if you just look at him as if he was Eve, he's looking at the trees over there. Look how beautiful it is, how the garden is watered. He like, oh, it looks good over there. Okay, look, prosperous. Yeah, he like, look, that's where I want to go. So he's going over to the land that he chose, over there to Jordan, right? Come on. Verse 11, what did it say?
Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan.
Right.
And Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other.
Right.
Abraham dwelled in the land of Canaan,
Right.
and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain and pitched his tent towards Sodom.
All right, so hold it there. Now we see that Lot had chose his place, right? Remember, everything that glitter ain't gold. And now we're going to go to the book of Jasher. We're going to go to the book of Jasher, chapter 18. We're going to start at verse 11. We're going to see what he ended up choosing.
Right, so Sodom and Gomorrah was very prosperous,
Right.
flowing like America.
Mm.
It may look good on the outside and pleasant to the eyes, but the outcome of it was fire and brimstone. Wow.
Yep.
But even so too, right? You gotta like in the beginning of the story regarding how they started semi having contention with each other. Lot's herdsman was like strifing with Abraham's herdsman, right?
Right.
And leadership starts from the top and it dwindles down, you know what I'm saying? So so Lot's herdsman was like, you know, already kind of like greedy, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because this is Abraham is really the head honcho, and then this Lot, his nephew, right? Why is his herdsman fucking with Abraham's herdsman? You know what I mean? It's like they having problems because there's there are too many of them there or whatever, but they fucking with each other, kind of like they striving with each other. That's why Abraham have to go to Lot and be like, hey, look, I don't want no problems with you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, your herdsman or whatever. Now you take the left, I'll take the right. But it's just their mindset, and it's like their mindset would follow their leadership.
Yeah, they're fighting over prosperity.
Right.
You're fighting over a good problem. You know what I mean? Y'all fighting over sheep and land.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know,
There basically had to be a division.
A division, right?
With them.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua chapter 18, we're gonna start at verse 11.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 11.
Right. What to say?
In those days, all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked.
Well, what?
Were exceedingly wicked.
Right. Remember, this is what Lot chose. So now this is what Lot is living. He looked how good it looked, and he ended up moving him and his wife and his daughters over there, right? Come on.
And sinful against YAHUDAHS. And they provoked the master with their abominations.
Right.
And they strengthened in aging abominable and scornfully before the Most High. And their wickedness and crimes were in those days great before Yah.
Come on.
And they had in their land a very extensive valley, about half a day's walk. And in it there were fountains of water and a great deal of herbage surrounding the water.
Sound like the garden a little bit, don't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Come on.
And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah went there 4 times in the year with their wives and children, and all belonging to them. And they rejoiced there with timbrels and dances.
Come on.
And in the time of rejoicing, they would all rise and lay hold of their neighbors' wives.
Do what?
And lay hold of their neighbors' wives.
So now they got a whole ritual down there where they straight taking each other's wives. They down there committing adultery.
Straight up.
Down in Sodom and Gomorrah, this they ritual. They go down there 4 times a year. They dance, they feast, and while they down there, they exchanging each other's wives. You take my wife, I take your wife.
Swinging.
Yeah. That's
Jada Pinkett Smith.
So would they just like switch wives and then they'll be permanent, or
nah, like when swinging or whatnot, it's just like for a night, you lay with my wife and then I lay with your wife for the night. Yeah, like that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Or look back in the 90s, Atlanta used to have this thing called the Freaknik.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know
I
what
heard
mean?
about it.
That look, quite ironic. Atlanta leads in homosexuality now. You know what I mean? They used to have in the 90s something called the Freaknik in Atlanta. And basically what you read in Joshua is what they would do for a whole week. Everybody just laying with everybody.
Like spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the Center for Disease Control is at too.
Yep.
The CDC and many other things down in Georgia. But the Freaknik, I had big cousins that used to go down there. Spend a whole week just sleeping with whoever. Anybody that's old enough to ask them about the Freaknik, they'd be like, yeah. He used to go down in Atlanta. So what we read in Joshua is something in our time we've seen. We've seen that, that whole promiscuous behavior.
Right.
And look, it was willy-nilly. Do what you want. And then when you leave, back to your normal life. Same in Vegas. Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? So you're seeing this in today's time. It's
crazy. But remember, everything that look good ain't good. And this is what Lot chose. Remember, him and Abraham was talking to each other. He saw how beautiful it was over there. He said, look, that's where I'm going to go. And this is what's going down at the place that he chose. Come on.
And some the virgin daughters of their neighbors. And they enjoyed them.
And they what?
And they enjoyed them.
Come on.
And each man saw his wife.
Right.
And daughter in the hands of his neighbor.
No.
And did not say a word.
And did not what?
And did not say a word.
Like what kind of mindset you have to be in? It's like a man has your wife and your daughter, and you ain't saying nothing. You just like it's okay. You cool with it.
You just throw the pile. Like, what up, y'all?
Right.
See y'all next week.
See y'all next week. And that's your wife and your virgin daughter.
And they did it like what? Every season.
Yeah, 4 times a year.
Every quarter.
Every quarter. Yeah, every quarter.
It's
You know what I'm saying? So it was like in the summer season they did it, in the winter season they did it, in the fall and spring.
Man, can you imagine how many demons, boy, how many spirits, boy? You leave something like that, you loaded up with demons.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because being intimate, you know what I mean? That's a transfer of spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, you loaded up with demons leaving a place like that. Every season, like clockwork, this is what it is. You see what the Most High, hey y'all, this was going on, not just homosexuality. It wasn't just homosexuality. This type of behavior was going on as well.
Right.
But you see what the Most High had to destroy it. Now, when you look outside your window today, and you see Sodom and Gomorrah amplified times 100, there should be no doubt in your mind what the Most High gonna do to this place. None.
Man, yesterday, man, we had went to get something to eat. It's crazy. I had just got off the gig, and I had met my rib at the place to get something to eat. And we sitting outside or whatnot. I'm sitting in the van, and she's sitting in another car. And she like, she finna go in there and get something to eat. I'm like, man, that line's super long. I'm like, look, I just wait right here in the car, and then you just go ahead and get some, you know what I'm saying, order the food or whatnot. I sit out here with the babies or whatnot. I could see them from the window. So we sitting there. She get out. I'm like, nah. I'm like, look, just call in there. So as she finna call in there, a dude walked back. But first we thought it was a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like just walk back, and it's like, hey, is that the line to get something to eat or to sit down there? And dude got to talking. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, saying, nah. I mean, what the?
Speaking real.
Yeah.
I know. Keep it real, man.
You the straight thought it was a white woman, and then as soon as she walked up,
It's Bubba.
It's Bubba. Straight up. Bubba's
He walked away like this, had weed,
straight weed. I'm like, oh hell no.
leggings on.
Yeah.
That same thing just happened. I just went to the zoo. It was the same person like this, bro. This girl's mom. Her mom is like a transgender, but it's like her dad though. Like you get it, like that's her dad.
Yeah, that's now. See, and I was telling and this is how you know it's super wrong for a child. My son looked at me, but I ain't never seen the ugliest look in him ever make in my life. He just looked at me. And it's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, see, now you see why the Most High to destroy this place. Yeah, this is what I was telling you about. This is why the Most High to destroy this place. Because of people like him. Come on with it, bro.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 15. And they did so from morning to night.
Come on.
And they afterward returned home, each man to his house,
Right.
and each woman to her tent.
Right.
So they always did 4 times in the year.
So look, this is their ritual, right? This is what they was doing down in Sodom and Gomorrah, and nobody thought it was wrong. Nobody was looking at like, look, we down here committing adultery. Shalom, bro. Come on.
Shalom, Phil. Shabbat shalom. Also, when a stranger came into their city,
When a who?
when a stranger came into their cities,
Right.
and brought goods which he had purchased with a view to dispose of there,
Come on.
the people of these cities would assemble, men, women, and children,
Right.
young and old, and go to the man and take his goods by force.
And do what?
And take his goods by force.
So now you got somebody coming into the city. He's a stranger, and everybody would gather together, the men, the women, and the children, and would straight rob this man of everything that he had.
Giving,
You say, bro?
Extortion.
Extortion. Right. Come on.
giving a little to each man until there was an end to all the goods of the owner, which he had brought into the land. And if the owner of the goods quarrel with them,
Right.
saying, what is this work which you have done to me? Then they would approach him one by one, and each would show him the little which he took, and taught him,
And do what?
and taunt him.
Not only do they take his stuff, they brag in his face and show them the things that they took from him. That's crazy. Like, if I just take your shoes off your feet, you come into the city, I take your shoes off your feet. You like, man, look, why y'all taking my shoes? And then I take your shoes and show you in your face, like, yeah, this is what I took from you. And all us showing you all the items that we took from you. It's crazy how we straight flaunt in sin. Well, how they flaunted in sin.
Make you wonder how that made that person.
Right.
Saying, I only took that little which thou didst give me,
Was that what?
which thou didst give me.
Not only do they take it from him, they said, look, I only took this what you gave me. He didn't give him nothing. Y'all robbed this man.
Exactly.
Y'all took it by force, and then y'all bragging to him in his face, and no, I only took what you gave me. What kind of, look at the psychological mindset that they had down in Sodom and Gomorrah. And
Right.
look at the time, look at our times now. You see the same thing with our people. It's the same thing that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same thing we see now.
Right. They believed that robbery was charity. You know what I mean? Like he didn't give you anything, you took it from him.
Right.
Other man.
And when he heard this from them all, he would arise and go from them in sorrow and bitterness of soul, when they would all arise and go after him and drive him out of the city with great noise and tumult.
Come on.
And there was a man from the country of Elam who was leisurely going on the road, seated upon his ass, which carried a fine mantle of diverse colors, and the mantles was bound with a cord upon the ass.
Come on.
And the man was on his journey, passing through the streets of Sodom, when the sun set in the evening. And he remained there in order to abide during the night. But no one would let him into his house.
But what?
But no one would let him into his house.
Come on.
And at that time, there was in Sodom a wicked and mischievous man.
So look, now it's pointing out a certain individual, right? It said this is a wicked and mischievous man. Come on.
One skillful to do evil.
So look, he knew how to be manipulative with evilness. He was cold at being evil.
Right.
That was his thing. He got over on people all the time, and he was good at it.
Genius.
Right, the wickedly genius, like the subtle one, right? Just like the mindset of Satan. Come on.
And his name was Hedad. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the traveler in the city, in the street of the city.
Right.
And he came to him and said, whence comest thou? And whither dost thou go? And the man said to him, I am traveling from Hebron to Elam, where I belong. And as I passed the sunset, and no one would suffer me to enter his house, though I had bread and water, and also straw and provender for my ass, and am short of nothing. And he that answered and said to him, all that thou shalt want shall be supplied by me. But in the streets thou shalt not abide all night.
And remember, this is a wicked man. So now he's talking to him like he's his friend, right? He's like, hey, look, all you guys said, look, you don't need nothing. Just come to my crib and I got you. I'll take care of you. When nobody else take care of you, he telling the man, like, look, I got food, I got mantle, he got bread. He was just trying to last somewhere for the night. It's just like a hotel room, you know what I'm saying? Just like you just passing through, I'm just stop at Holiday Inn or whatnot, just sleeping for the night, and then I'm be on by my business. That's the kind of mindset that he had. This man, like, look, just come over to my crib and I got you, right? Come on.
That reminds me of being in prison, and you ain't got nothing or whatever the case may be. And somebody will come over there and be like, hey, you know, I got this, that, and for you. But they'll end up like wanting extra, you know, in return. Or, you know what I'm saying, they would be, as we were saying in prison, a booty bandit, you know what I'm saying? So that's what reminds me of that.
Extortion.
Yeah,
Word.
no doubt.
Hey, can I read this real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
1 Corinthians 6:9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
That's right.
You see all that going on inside Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. So you see why that place was, the Most High dropped a spiritual nuke on that place, bombed it. And if you go over into the land of Israel today, they know what Sodom and Gomorrah is littered with chunks of brimstone. So the Most High left witness in the earth of him burning that place. Chunks of brimstone bigger than boulders littered all over that deal. I say, wow.
Crazy.
I ain't playing. I remind you, it was a prosperous place. You know what I'm saying? Herbage and green trees and water flowing. That deal is a junkyard of brimstone right now. Straight up.
It's crazy. Come on with it, bro.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 23. And he that brought him to his house.
Right.
And he took off the mantle from the ass with the cord and brought them to his house. And he gave the ass straw and provender, whilst the traveler ate and drank in Hedad's house. And he abode there that night.
Come on.
And in the morning, the traveler rose up early to continue his journey. When Hadad said to him, wait, comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and then go. And the man did so, and he remained with him. And they both ate and drank together during the day.
Butter him on up.
Yep.
When the man rose up to go, and Hadad said to him, behold, now the day is declining.
Meaning the day is ended. Come on.
Thou hast better remain all night, that thy heart may be comforted. And he pressed him so that he tarried there all night. And on the second day he rose up early to go away.
So notice this the second day. He's supposed to only stay there one night.
Right.
Now he's there for a second day. Come on.
When Hadad pressed him, saying, comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and then go. And he remained and ate with him also the second day. And then the man rose up to continue his journey. And Hadad said to him, behold, now the day is declining. Remain with me to comfort thy heart, and in the morning rise up early and go thy way. And the man would not remain, but rose and saddled his ass.
Right.
And while he was saddling his ass, the wife of Hadad said to her husband, behold, this man has remained with us for 2 days, eating and drinking, and he has given us nothing.
They giving us what?
Has given us nothing.
Remember, her dad said, look, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I got you. I got you. But now his wife, like, look, he been here for 2 days and he ain't gave us nothing. Come on.
And now shall he go away from us without giving anything? And Hadad said to her, be silent. And the man saddled his ass to go. And he asked Hadad to give him the cord and mantle to tie it up upon the ass.
Come on.
And Hadad said to him, what sayest thou? And he said to him, that thou, my lord, shall give me the cord and mantle made with diverse colors, which thou didst conceal with thee in thy house to take care of it.
Come on.
And Hadad answered the man, saying, this is the interpretation of thy dream.
So now he telling him, like, no, you was dreaming. I'm about to tell you the interpretation of your dream.
Boy.
Like, what is going on? He just, yeah, this Sodom and Gomorrah. He's telling me like, nah, look, you was dreaming. I'm about to tell you the interpretation of the dream that you was having. Like, he tripping. You're like, nah.
What kind of young soothsayer?
He was skillfully wicked.
Yeah,
Very skillful. I'm talking about skillfully wicked, man.
You gotta think like, well, was I dreaming for real? Like,
Well, he
wasn't dreaming,
like,
right?
but he's so skillfully wicked. This is what he's coming up with.
Straight coming up with a master plan. But remember, it said he was the wickedest man down in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And
So
he was known.
Yeah,
He was known for being wicked. Everybody already know that the town is wicked, but he is known for being the most wicked person down there. Now,
why anybody would try to trust him? Then.
but he's a stranger going into the city.
Right.
He don't know.
But then you ask yourself, like, come on, wickedness spread.
Mhm.
It's almost like what you doing traveling by yourself through Sin City.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know good and well what they on over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you always got to be aware of your surroundings
Right.
and where you going. You know what I mean? There's certain parts of St. Louis I'm not going into at certain times of night.
Like, facts.
It's like, nah, you know what I mean?
I'm cool.
I won't be caught dead over there. You know what I mean?
Straight
Nah,
up.
I ain't going to no East St. Louis at 3 in the morning, please. You know what I mean? So, you can learn from his mistake too, reading this. You can learn a lot from his mistake too, because you can't be gullible out here.
Right.
You did. Come on, man. You a wealthy man. You got plenty of resources. You out of bounds, Jack. What you doing? How you end up in the house of the most wicked man in Sodom and Gomorrah? Let alone Sodom and Gomorrah itself.
Right.
But you end up in the most wicked man there in his house. See, a wise man perceives the evil and hides himself.
Yeah.
The simple pass on and are punished. So always be aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? Think about Like, nah, I'm not going over to Jackson Park.
Right.
And no 2 in the
Morning.
morning.
For what?
No, I ain't finna go down there on about a water tower off Grand. And no 4 in the morning.
For what?
No, player. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Catch
straight.
y'all with the sun.
Hey, bro. I was driving over there to come see y'all last night at Jedediah house, and me and the young dude that I was with from California, from Vegas. We see 2 people fighting in the middle of the street right there by the water tower, right? And I'm like, I see it because I got my doors off my Jeep. I'm like, man, So when I passed up, I stopped and I bagged up, right? Well, you know, it's a Shabbat, right? And I'm feeling good, right? Like how Hebrew should. And it's like I felt like Moses at the time. You did?
Come on.
I felt like Moses at the time, right? So I backed up, and the young dude, he looking at me like, "What is you doing?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Don't worry about it," you know what I mean? And I told him, I was like, "Hey, y'all!" I put my authoritative voice on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all be cool, man. What y'all doing, man? Don't be doing that. And guess what? It was a woman beating the mess out of a Negro, right? And she said, he better have more respect regarding about a woman, right? And I said, yeah, you're right about that, sister, but you shouldn't be fighting him like that. You know what I mean? While I was easily driving off, because I didn't want her to
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what happened, man.
Hey man, real rap. You know where you at all times.
Straight up.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 31.
No, verse 30.
Verse 30, excuse me. And Adad answered the man, saying, this is the interpretation of thy dream. The cord which thou didst see means that thy life will be lengthened out like a cord. And having seen the mantle colored with all sorts of colors means that thou shalt have a vineyard in which thou wilt plant trees of all fruits.
So he's telling him everything that he had, the cord and the mantle. He's telling him like, no, you really didn't have a cord and a mantle. This is the interpretation of the dream. That cord that you saw, it was very long. It's talking about you're going to live long. That's your lifespan. You're going to live long. And then what did he say? The color with many, read it again.
And the
color.
And having seen the mantle colored with all sorts of colors means that thou shalt have a vineyard in which thou wilt plant trees of all fruits.
Well, of what?
Of all fruits.
Remember, it had that mantle had many colors. He's saying that mantle means that he'll have a yard full of fruits, right. Different kinds of fruits. That's what those different colors represent. Come on.
And the traveler answered, saying, not so, my lord, for I was awake when I gave thee the cord, and also a mantle woven with different colors, which thou didst take off the ass to put them by for me. And Adad answered and said, surely I have told thee the interpretation of thy dream, and it is a good dream, and this is the interpretation thereof.
Come on.
Now the sons of men give me 4 pieces of silver, which is my charge for interpreting dreams, and of thee only I require 3 pieces of silver.
He said, look, everybody else I charged them 4 pieces of silver for interpreting dreams. He said, but since I like you so much, I'm only gonna charge you 3. And like, look, you my boy, I'm only gonna charge you 3. But remember, this ain't no dream.
Right.
This is something that really happened. He straight took this from this man and told him, like, no, you tripping, bro. This is a dream. I'm telling you the interpretations thereof.
It's like somebody you meet on like the corner or something like that. Like some people you meet on the corner, then he lets you come in his house. That's like if a righteous man just come into like a house of somebody just on the corner and they tell him like that, they got Ouija boards in their house and all types of wickedness, and he still like, and they trying to like get him to believe something that it's not. But
right. I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's like he understood, but the stranger who walked through the city, he understood like, nah, this is not right. You know what I'm saying? But this man still trying to tell him like, nah, this is an interpretation. I am a dream interpreter. This is what he's trying to tell her. I interpret dreams down here in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's my job in Sodom and Gomorrah. I interpret dreams. I'm only going to charge you $3. But everybody else down here, I charge them $4. Come on.
And the man was provoked at the words of Hadad.
So now you see this man pissed off, right? Come on.
And he cried bitterly. And he brought Hadad to Sirach, judge of Sodom.
To who?
Judge of Sodom.
So now
Sirach.
you got somebody named Sirach down in Sodom, and they a judge, right? Anybody who's a judge is supposed to judge righteous matters.
No doubt. No doubt.
If you're a judge, you're supposed to have righteous decisions. You're not supposed to lean just because it's my best brother. If you and him going back and forth, I'm not going to take his side just because that's my best, you know what I'm saying, my favorite brother. So it's like, no, look, what's respect the person. What's wrong is wrong. What's right is right. Remember, he's a judge. Come on.
Right, he's supposed to have just weights and balances.
Right.
Let me read this real quick. Proverbs 23. Proverbs 23, verse 6. Wisdom, right? It says, eat thou not the bread of him that have an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to you, but his heart is not with you. The morsel which thou hast eaten shall you vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. He was in violation of that, stranger. He was eating the bread of him that had an evil eye toward him. You feel me? Just because you have to consider, just because somebody invites you somewhere, you can't sit down and eat with everybody.
Right.
That's what it's saying. Like, he buttered him up, fed him, you know what I mean? Gave him something, gave him a place to lay his head. He supposed to have been left, no, stay a little while longer. Right? Scripture lets you know, use discretion.
Right.
Don't eat the bread of him that have an evil eye, meaning an evil mind towards you. He may tell you to eat and drink, but his heart is not with you. There's an ulterior motive here. He set you up, you understand, to extort you.
Right.
You understand? To get something about you. He's not feeding you just because he's a righteous man. And he's commanded, like Abraham, to show you hospitality. You know what I mean? His whole thing is to get something about you. And in this case, he straight told him you was dreaming. You know what I mean? I charge everybody else 4 pieces of silver, but you just give me 3. You all good. Now he done brought him before the judgment seat. Man,
It's crazy.
crazy.
Verse 34.
And the man laid his cause before Sirach,
Right.
the judge. When Hadad replied, saying, it is not so, but thus the matter stands. And the judge said to the traveler, this man Hadad telleth thee truth.
Tell the what?
Telleth thee truth.
It's like, look, you know how the judge has to know this man is the most wicked man down in Sodom and Gomorrah, because it says that he was well known in Sodom and Gomorrah for being the most wicked man down there. And then the judge says, talking to the traveler, like, no, whatever he's saying is the truth. That's just like if Satan comes in here or whatnot, and everybody, and I'm a judge or something, I'm like, nah, what Satan saying, that's it right there. I believe what Satan's saying. Like, nah, I know he's the most wicked person in the world. Why choose his side? Come on.
Man, it's like Gotham City in Batman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gotham City was just like this. All the criminals around it, you get extorted, killed, all of it. You know what I mean? There's a series called Gotham, but if you look at any of the old Batmans, you know what I mean? Bruce Wayne, who was Batman, was fighting all the crime in Gotham City. This sounds like Gotham City right here.
Right.
Even the judges is in on it.
Yeah, the Penguins was the government. The
Yeah,
government.
but I say, somebody just told me to watch Gotham City. Yeah.
Man.
Keep that in mind. Come on.
Verse 34. This man Hadad telleth the truth, for he is famed in the city for an accurate interpretation of dreams.
Come on.
And the man cried at the word of the judge and said, not so, my lord. For it was in the day that I gave him the cord and mantle which was upon the ass in order to put them by in his house.
Remember, the traveler had took it off his ass and gave it to him to put it inside his house. Come on.
And they both disputed before the judge, the one saying, thus the matter was,
Right.
and the other declaring otherwise.
Come on.
And Hadad said to the man, give me 4 pieces of silver that I charge for my interpretation of dreams.
So now he telling him, give me 4 pieces of silver. Remember, at first he told him, I'm gonna only charge you 3. But now, since we're in front of the judge, I want 4 pieces of silver. Come on.
I will not make any allowance, and give me the expense of the 4 meals that thou didst eat in my house.
Come on.
And the man said to Hadad, truly, I will pay thee for what I ate in thy house. Only give me the cord and mantle which thou didst conceal in thy house.
So letting you know this is a true stranger. He like, look, I bet I pay you for the food that I ate at your crib, but I still want my stuff. I still want my cord and my mantle. You still got it. This ain't no dream. I know what I came down here with I know what I came down here with to Sodom and Gomorrah. Come on.
And Hadad replied before the judge and said to the man, did I not tell thee the interpretation of thy dream? The cord means that thy days shall be prolonged like a cord, and the mantle that thou wilt have a vineyard in which thou wilt plant all kinds of fruit trees. This is the proper interpretation of thy dream.
Come on.
Now give me my 4 pieces of silver that I require as a compensation, for I will make thee no allowance. And the man cried at the words of Hadad, and they both quarreled before the judge. And the judge gave orders to his servants, who drove them rashly from the house.
Come on.
And they went out, and they went away, quarreling from the judge. When the people of Sodom heard them, and they gathered about them, and they exclaimed against the stranger.
They did what?
And they exclaimed against the stranger, and they drove him rashly from the city. And the man continued his journey upon his ass with bitterness of soul, laminating and weeping. And while he was going along, he wept at what had happened to him in the corrupt city of Sodom.
So he still left without his cord and his mantle. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Man, that's wild, man. They give you a deeper understanding about Sodom and Gomorrah. It wasn't just sodomy going on there. A lot of ill dealing, wife swapping, you know what I mean, extortion, ill dealing, you know what I mean, everything that's the new norm.
Right.
Everything that's the new norm today. Look at E-Man. Everything that you consider normal today is what was going on then. You did. Shabbat shalom, my brother.
Shabbat shalom, bro.
Bless.
Shabbat shalom, bro.
We're going to jump out to the next chapter.
Okay.
We're going to go to Jasher chapter 19. We're going to start in verse 1. It's crazy.
Can you make that screen bigger? Or is that
Oh, shoot.
big trips? If you do, you want to like move.
Oh, move it side to side. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, I can do it.
You want to like kind of keep up and just move it back and forth.
Okay.
Jasher chapter 19, verse 1. And the cities of Sodom had 4 judges,
Right.
to 4 cities. And these were their names: Sirach in the city of Sodom, Shakked in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Adamah, and Menon in Zeboim. And Eliezer, Abraham's servant, applied to them different names. And he converted Sirach to Shakkara, Shakked to Shakkarura, Zebnak to Kezeboim, and Menon to Matzaladid. And by desire of their 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the cities. Had beds erected in the streets of the cities.
So now you see in Sodom and Gomorrah, they got beds in the middle of the cities, right? Erected.
What?
Well,
they got beds on the street corner. Boy.
Man. Come on.
And if a man came to these places,
Right.
they laid hold of him.
They did what?
They laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds.
Right.
And by force,
By what?
and by force made him to lie in them. And as he laid down, 3 men would stand at his head, and 3 at his feet, and measure him by the length of the bed.
Right.
And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him at each end. And when he cried out to them, they would not answer him. And if he was longer than the bed, they would draw together the 2 sides of the bed at each end until the man had reached the gates of death.
Now you see, you got a beds in the streets, and if he is shorter than 6 feet, they would stretch him. Right? And if he's longer than the bed, they would fold the bed up and kill him. Down in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is what's going on down there.
That's what I'm saying.
And they had beds out on the streets, and any stranger that came through the city or whatnot, if you was a stranger, if you was shorter than the bed, they would stretch you to make you as long as the bed. But if you was longer than the bed, they would fold the bed up until you died.
I'm saying when you stretch the person, they gonna still die.
Oh, facts. If you stretch them long, yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like their whole thing was to kill them.
Right.
Because they were strangers in their city. Anybody who was a stranger into their city was not welcome. It's like the man who came down there with his mantles or whatnot. They took everything from him, got him about the city. And then anybody else, when at a certain point, when they had the beds or whatnot, if they was longer than the bed, they would fold them up to death. Or if they were shorter than the bed, they would stretch them to death. But this was what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is the place that Lot chose because it looked good. And this what was going on down in there. It's just like if, like the script, what is script, bro? What it talks about, like the outside look good, but inside is reveling wolves.
Joshua 19, verse 6.
Yeah.
Verse 6. Let me know when you got that. And if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, thus shall it be done to a man that cometh into our land. And when men heard of these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they refrained from coming there.
Like bro was just saying, like, man, look, if you know what's going on in a certain place, you wouldn't go there. But remember that stranger before this, that it had to get out that all this was going down inside of Gomorrah, but he still went down there and he passed through. And then that's what happened with him. He got his cord and his mantle took him. And then he got up out of there, got chased out by the people.
Crazy. Matthew 23. Matthew 23, verse 24. You blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel.
Right.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you may clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup.
Right. So cleanse your mind first, not the outer cup. Come on.
And platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward.
Do what?
Which indeed appear beautiful outward.
So just like Sodom and Gomorrah, remember, it looked good outwardly. That's why Lot was like, look, it looked good over there. That's where I'm going. Right? Come on.
But or within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men.
Come on.
But within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
That's that mindset. Like you look good on the outside, but inside you're dead. No sound is in there. No life.
Right. Everything glitter ain't gold.
Facts.
It's an analogy that y'all use all the time. Like when you wash your cup out, you wash the inside and you make sure that the inside is clean for that.
For the outside, right. You do that with the dishes, right?
Exactly.
Come on with it, bro.
Joshua chapter 19, verse 8.
And you know what? That puts something like another mindset too on Lot, right? Remember, we going back to Lot and Abraham. They're herding. They're herding. The shepherds will fight each other, right?
Right.
Lot makes a decision based on prosperity. What he think he gonna go to the place where he's gonna prosper more. So he think it looks more prosperous. Look at it, it's flowing, it's herbage everywhere. Lot is a businessman. So Lot thinking like, look, I'm gonna move over here where it appears to be more lucrative for my business. Remember, it said he pitched his tent toward Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
You know what I mean? His decision was strictly carnal. It was strictly carnal. But Abraham's was spiritual because remember, he was promised the land of Canaan anyway.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? It's showing you that Lot wasn't even on a spiritual tip. He told Lot, you choose. And wherever way you go, I'm gonna go opposite. You know what I'm saying? And Lot didn't choose the land of Canaan. Obviously, because why? Because Sodom and Gomorrah looked as if it was more prosperous. You know, had Canaan looked more prosperous, Lot would have been like, yeah, give me Canaan.
Right.
And you go on down there. You know what I mean? But his decision was strictly based on where he could prosper more financially. You know what I mean? He's a businessman. He got herds, he got flocks, he got shepherds working for him. You know what I mean? Sodom and Gomorrah is like America. They come to America, you know what I'm saying? You can set up your businesses. I'm gonna go on over there instead of going to Yemen. Say the Most High promise you Yemen. Going over to Yemen over there in Saudi Arabia, I promise you that. You did. But you a person that's like, look, I'm trying to start businesses and set up trade lines and get my, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be prosperous out here. Lot's decision was strictly a carnal decision. Something that will prosper him financially.
Right.
It wasn't based off the promise that the Most High gave Abraham. Now, remind you, Lot had been rolling with Abraham since he left Chaldea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd have thought it'd have been like, you know what? No, I'm riding with you. Wherever you at, I'm riding. We can look, y'all shut up, y'all work for us. Y'all be all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Lot ended up making his decision based off prosperity, carnal, business move. Because it looked as if I could be more prosperous in Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham, you can have this land of Canaan. It don't even look like it's prosperous. Tell you, so you got to be careful in it. You can't be making, because that affected his entire family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? His wife ended up dying down there because she turned back. As you read Jasher, as them brothers keep reading, you're going to see he had other daughters that was there that decided to stay. You know what I'm saying? They got handled. And then when he finally got out of Sodom and Gomorrah, we know what his virgin daughters did to him after he got him drunk. That one decision affected his entire family. That one decision. You know what I mean? So you can't be making decisions based off what's lustful to the eyes. You know what I mean? What's carnal. You need to be hollering at the spiritual realm, hollering at the Most High. Guide me in my decisions, in my endeavors. It may look more prosperous right now. Like it may be, you may think it may be prosperous to move to Las Vegas right now or Atlanta. You know what I mean? But in the end, if the Most High got it designated for fire and brimstone, then you just made a decision that destroyed your entire family.
Right.
And I like even though he made that decision, the Most High still even warned him to even get out of the city. You know what I'm saying? For Lot to even get out of the city after he made the decision to even go down there. Yeah. Right.
Speaking to the mic, bro.
Yeah, give him a
No, you're right about that. However, the Most High, Hamashiach, well, the angel of the Lord, did that only based off the fact of that it was Abraham's nephew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was back there hollering at him.
That was the only reason why. You know what I'm saying? Because it was Abraham's nephew. But I want to you were saying something about what happened with Lot, right? But let's see what happened with Abraham when Lot separated from Lot, or when Lot separated from Abraham. And I'm just going to go touch on 2 scriptures real quick, or 3, from Genesis 13, verse 15. It says this right here: for all the land which thou seest, no, it's verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abraham, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. So when Lot separated from Abraham, because Lot really, like what you said, Lot was a businessman. Lot wasn't on no spiritual level or whatever the case may be. So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you know, spiritual men need to get away and separate themselves from carnal Negroes. And once you separate from carnal Negroes or whatever the case may be, you get blessed, and then you see how they
turn out.
Yeah. See how they see what happens to them. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, you, as we all know the story of Abraham. Abraham loved his nephew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Abraham loved his nephew. Abraham was a witness to his nephews, his brothers, you know what I'm saying, being burnt up to ashes, you know what I'm saying, in the fiery furnace. You know what I'm saying? So he really truly loved his nephew, you know, and he begged the Most High, he begged the angel of the Lord to spare Sodom, to spare his people, or whatever the case may be. But still, there had to be a separation.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? There had to be a separation because, again, you see what happened with Adam and Eve. Eve did this, whatever the case may be. She seen that the fruit was whatever, you know, good, this, that, and the third. And Adam was so love struck, you know what I'm saying, like how most of us is with a woman, you know, that he ate the apple, or not the apple, but he ate from the tree, you know what I'm saying?
The apple.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's laughing right now, hush up. I'm still talking. But you know, I'm just saying though, you know what I mean, how it goes. But anyway, back to Joshua.
Yeah, the brain freeze.
That makes sense though, real quick.
You know.
Like that precept you just brought out.
They give him mic.
It said, at the beginning of it, you said, or you say you swallow a camel, but you strain the neck.
Right.
Lot picked that land. He saw that land and he thought, I struck gold.
Right.
You strain that net, meaning you go, you know, after you eat, you gotta go to the bathroom. Strain the net, that gets nothing. Look what Abraham got when he decided, I'm gonna let God make this call. Or I'm gonna let you make this call, and I'm gonna get blessed this way. Like you made that call, you thought you struck gold, it hurt you.
Hurt you.
Got a whole
Hurt
narrative.
That let you know, man, just because it look good don't mean you just jump in
Yep.
when you pull the trigger. You know what I mean? Make a little way, count the cost. Major league.
Chapter 19, verse 9.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Verse 8. And when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold,
Right.
and cause a proclamation in the whole city not to give him a morsel of bread to eat.
Right.
And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death, all the people of the city would come and take their silver and gold, which they had given to him.
Now notice how wicked it is. Everybody would give this man silver and gold, right? When you get silver and gold, you use it in exchange to buy things. They said, look, we're going to give him silver and gold, but don't sell him nothing to eat. So when he died, we're going to take everything that we gave him back from him. That's super wicked. When we was little, we used to call it Indian giving.
Yeah.
We used to call it Indian giving. They like, okay, look, when he coming to this city, we're going to give him some bread. We're going to bless his pockets, but don't sell nothing to him. As soon as he died, we're going to take all our money back. This is what's going on down in the place that Lot chose, Sodom and Gomorrah. Come on.
And those that could recognize the silver or gold which they had given him took it back, and at his death they also stripped him of his garment.
They even took his clothes from him.
And they would fight about them. And he that prevailed over his neighbor took them.
Come on.
They would after that carry him and bury him under some of the shrubs in the desert. So they did all the days to anyone that came to them and died in their land.
Come on.
And in the course of time, Sarah sent Eliezer to Sodom to see Lot and inquire after his welfare.
Right. So now you got Abraham's wife Sarah sending Eliezer down to Sodom and Gomorrah to go check on her nephew. So look, go check on Lot and see how he doing. Come on.
And Eliezer went to Sodom.
Right.
And he met a man of Sodom fighting with a stranger.
Come on.
And the man of Sodom stripped the poor man.
He did what?
Stripped the poor man of all his clothes and went away.
Right.
And this poor man cried to Eliezer and supplicated his favor on account of what the man of Sodom had done to him.
Come on.
And he said to him, why doest thou act thus to the poor man who came to thy land? And the man of Sodom answered Eliezer, saying, is this man thy brother? Or have the people of Sodom made thee a judge this day, that thou speakest about this man?
Come on.
And Eliezer strove with the man of Sodom on account of the poor man. And when Eliezer approached to recover the poor man's clothes from the man of Sodom, he hastened and with a stone smote Eliezer in the forehead.
He did what?
Smote Eliezer in the forehead.
So now you see Eliezer down here defending the poor, right? Like we supposed to be doing. He's down there defending the poor. He like, look, you done took this man clothes and everything from him. So he down there fighting with the man to get this poor man's clothes back. He's defending the poor. What the man ended up doing, taking a stone and hitting Eliezer on the forehead, right? Come on.
And the blood flowed conspicuous, copiously.
Yeah, copiously.
Copiously. Okay,
Copiously.
Copiously from Eliezer's forehead.
Right.
And when the man saw the blood, he caught hold of Eliezer,
right,
saying, give me my hire for having rid thee of this bad blood that was in thy forehead.
Wow. So look, now he's trying to charge Eliezer. He said, look,
making him bleed.
For making him bleed, he said, look, give me my paper. I just made your forehead bleed. Now give me my paper.
I rid you of bad blood.
Yeah, I know he just standing there
like what? You about to charge me for busting my head? Right. Right. I need that. For busting your head, I need that bread, right? Come on.
For such is the custom and the law in our land.
He said, look, this is our custom and our law in our land. So that, you know, down in Sodom and Gomorrah, they got their own customs and their own laws. This was down in their land. Come on.
And Eliezer said to him, thou hast wounded me and requirest me to pay thee thy hire.
Right.
And Eliezer would not hearken to the words of the man of Sodom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom, family. And the man laid hold of Eliezer and brought him to Shakara, the judge of Sodom, for judgment. And the man spoke to the judge, saying, I beseech thee, my lord, thus has this man done, for I smote him with a stone, that the blood flowed from his forehead, and he is unwilling to give me my hire.
And remember, this judge is already known, because this judge judged the first matter, right? So his right here, Eliezer calls him, we call him Chakra, but his name was Sekra, right? Down in Sodom and Gomorrah, they knew him as Sekra, but Eliezer called him Chakra, right? Come on.
Verse 21. Does that have anything to do with the chakras?
No. He's reaching. Come on, bro. No, come on, bro.
And the judge said to Eliezer,
right?
This man, you was thinking the same thing. All right, then. So I ain't off. This man speaketh true to thee. Give him his hire, for this is the custom in our land.
Right.
And Eliezer heard the words of the judge. And he lifted up a stone and smote the judge.
And he did what?
And smote the judge.
So look, Eliezer was like, okay, look, this is y'all custom down here. And like, all right, so he take a stone and he hit the judge across the forehead with it, right? Come on.
And the stone struck on his forehead.
Right.
And the blood flowed copiously from the forehead of the judge. And Eliezer said, if this then is the custom in your land, give thou unto this man what I should have given him, for this has been thy decision that did decree it.
So you're like, look, all right, so look, he says he bust my head and he want bread for it. He said, look, the money that you owe me now, give it to him. But now we broke even. Now you owe me, I just bust your head and I give him the money that I owe him, you give it to him.
That's right. That's right.
If this is y'all custom down in y'all city. He said, look, I got something for you then.
Then he gave me a lick back.
He said, got him a lick back. Come on with it, bro. But look, that was a custom, right? Come on.
Yeah, evil dealing, man.
Man.
Unjust weights and balances. It's evil and an abomination in the eyes of the Most High. That's their custom in Sodom and Gomorrah. Once again, it wasn't just homosexuality going on down there. Across the board, it was evil. Everything they did was evil. They knew you don't want to be a stranger. You out of bounds down there.
Right.
They strip you of your jewels, your clothes, everything. And then say, hey, you was just dreaming. You know what I mean? But since I interpreted your dream, you owe me. Come on. That's evil. It is. You need to know where you at all times.
That's right.
Period. You know what I mean? Like, where we going? No, I ain't going over there.
Right.
I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Straight evil.
Hey, right. That's their custom. Come on with it.
And
bro.
Eliezer left the man of Sodom with the judge, and he went away.
Come on.
Verse 23. And when the kings of Elam had made war with the kings of Sodom, the kings of Elam captured all the property of Sodom, and they took Lot captive with his property. And when it was told to Abraham,
that's right,
he went and made war with the kings of Elam.
Come on.
And he recovered from their hands all the property of Lot, as well as the property of Sodom. At that time, the wife of Lot bare him a daughter, and he called her name Palit, saying, because Yah had delivered him and his whole household from the kings of Elam. And Palit, daughter of Lot, grew up, and one of the men of Sodom took her for a wife.
Come on.
And a poor man came into the city to seek a maintenance, and he remained in the city some days. And all the people of Sodom caused a proclamation of their custom not to give this man a morsel of bread to eat until he dropped dead upon the earth. And they did so.
So look, notice this man, he came down to Sodom and Gomorrah again, just passing by. No one wants to get this man bread, water, or nothing until this man died. So their whole custom was down there was to straight kill people. Straight wickedness above all wickedness. Any stranger that came down there, they straight made sure this individual was straight dead. Didn't make it up out of the city. And if you did make it up out of the city, you didn't make it up out of the city with the things that you brought down to the city.
Exactly.
But it's crazy though, because they weren't like outright killing. They were just like, all right, we're gonna do it on the low. We're gonna let you die. And then we're gonna take all everything you got.
Yeah, they were real crafty.
Yeah.
They were real crafty and they're evil, man. That's unjust weights and balances once again, because if you look at the flip side, Abraham was a friend of the Most High, right? And his whole tradition and what he did was opposite. Like, you couldn't skip past his tent without him feeding you. He get the servants out, wash everybody's feet. You know what I mean? We gonna kill a fatted calf. We gonna, us wise men gonna sit up and we gonna talk turkey. They can send you on your way. These men, I mean, their whole mindset was set against extorting you and murder. You know what I mean? In some way, shape. I mean, the whole you dealing with 4 judges in 4 different spots, and everybody in on this.
Right.
Everybody in on it. You know what I mean? You start seeing why the Heavenly Father had to incinerate Sodom and Gomorrah. It makes sense. It makes sense. And it's crazy because a place like that, on the outside to a stranger, it looked prosperous. Yeah. It looked like the place to be. Exactly. Exactly. Looked like a place to be, you know what I mean? But hey, once you get up in the jungle, which is what it is, man. You know where you at. The scripture straight tell you, don't eat the bread of him that have an evil eye. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's that one song they smile in your face the whole time they want to take your place?
Yeah, the backstabbers. Yeah, an old school of text.
Well, hey, the other one too, undisputed truth, smiling faces sometimes.
Yeah.
Without question.
And it seemed like what they did, they got a thrill of that, of watching, you know what I'm saying, a person suffer and die.
It's like a medicine.
Yeah. They
act like they cool with you, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. They probably feed you, but at the end, they're gonna rob you and kill you. Or let you die off. Yeah.
Let you kill yourself.
Or kill yourself.
Yeah.
where you took a loss coming down Sodom and Gomorrah.
Man, a major law.
But you know that again, y'all, wickedness travels. You know what I mean? Like at some point you got to be like, no, we gonna go around that place.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It may be faster, you know what I'm saying? It may cut off 3 days journey if we go straight through there. But if we go straight through there, we mess around and even make it out of there alive.
Right.
You did. You gotta always be circumspect. Like go around Sodom and Gomorrah. What y'all doing? Like how y'all keep getting caught up in Sodom and Gomorrah?
Right.
No, man. That makes sense.
Joshua chapter 19, verse 26. And Pilate, the daughter of Lot, saw this man lying in the street, starved with hunger, and no one would give him anything to keep him alive.
Right.
And he was just upon the point of death. And her soul was filled with pity on account of the man. And she fed him secretly with bread for many days. And the soul of this man was revived.
So now you see she got a righteous act that she's doing, right? So her path, she's choosing life. She's like, you know what, look, this man is starving. He's about to die. I'm going to help this man out. She had pity or compassion for this individual, right? Come on.
For when she went forth to fetch water, she would put the bread in the water pitcher. And when she came to the place where the poor man was, she took the bread from the pitcher and gave it to him to eat. So she did many days.
Come on.
And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah wondered how this man could bear starvation.
So they
for
looking
so
like
many days.
this man's supposed to have been dead. How's he still alive? He's supposed to. So everybody watching, like, look, I was trying to come take his clothes up off him, trying to take his silver, but he's still alive. How is he still alive? Come on.
And they said to each other, this can only be that he eats and drinks. For no man can bear starvation for so many days or live as this man has, without even his countenance changing. And 3 men concealed themselves in a place where the poor man was stationed,
Right.
to know who it was that brought him bread to eat.
So now they got their own little secret spies, right? Come on.
And Pilate, daughter of Lot, went forth that day to fetch water. And she put bread in her pitcher of water. And she went to draw water by the poor man's place. And she took out the bread from the pitcher and gave it to the poor man, and he ate it. And the 3 men saw what Pilate did to the poor man.
Right.
And they said to her, it is thou then who has supported him. And therefore has he not starved, nor changed in appearance, nor died like the rest.
Come on.
And the 3 men went out of the place in which they were concealed, and they seized Pilate and the bread which was in the poor man's hand. And they took Pilate and brought her before their judges.
Before who?
Before their judges. And they said to them, thus did she do, and it is she who supplied the poor man with bread. Therefore did he not die all this time? Now therefore declare to us the punishment due to this woman for having transgressed our law.
Having to do what? Transgress their law. They wanted to put her to death because she had a good conscience to help out somebody.
Right.
So by her being good and going against their customs, now she have to be put to death for looking out for somebody. Evil, man.
Verse 35. And the people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city. Kindled a fire in the street of the city.
So look, if y'all know anything about witches, that's what they used to do to witches. Everybody, they used to straight kindle a fire in the middle of the street or middle of the city, and everybody would go and watch a witch be burned. That was their customs. So now they are treating her like she's a witch.
For being righteous.
For being righteous. She chose to be righteous. And since she chose to be righteous, she's been put to death. Come on.
And they took the woman and cast her into the fire. She was burned to ashes.
She was what?
She was burned to ashes. And in the city of Adamah, there was a woman to whom they did the like.
So it's another woman they did just like that. So the whole thing is this: she was being righteous, since she's being righteous and into a wicked city, it's like, no, she got to burn for that, for being righteous. So then, you know, even with being righteous, boy, you still get put to death. Just like the Messiah. He was righteous. He was put to death. Come on. Verse 37.
For a traveler came into the city of Damascus to abide there all night with the intention of going home in the morning.
Right.
And he sat opposite the door of the house of the young woman's father to remain there, as the sun had set when he had reached that place. And the young woman saw him sitting by the door of the house.
Come on.
And he asked her for a drink of water. And she said to him, Who art thou? And he said to her, I was this day going on the road and reached here when the sun set. So I will abide here all night. And in the morning, I will arise early and continue my journey. And the young woman went into the house and fetched the man bread and water to eat and drink. And this affair became known to the people of Adamah, and they assembled and brought the young woman before the judges, that they should judge her for this act.
Come on.
And the judge said, The judgment of death.
The judgment of what?
The judgment of death must pass upon this woman because she transgressed our law. And this, therefore, is the decision concerning her.
Come on.
And the people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman and anointed her with honey.
Anointed what?
Anointed her with honey.
Right.
From head to feet.
So look, since she looked out for a stranger or a homeless man, it was against their laws and customs. So they took her out in the middle of the streets and put honey from her head down to her toes. Right? They covered her in honey. Come on.
As the judge had decreed.
And notice the judge. This is a decree that the judge put. This is the judges. The judges are the ones making the decisions down in Sodom and Gomorrah. Come on.
And they placed her before a swarm of bees.
They did what?
And they placed her before a swarm of bees, which were then in their hives. And the bees flew upon her and stung her, that her whole body was swelled. And the young woman cried out on account of the bees, but no one took notice of her or pitied her. And her cries ascended to heaven.
Her cries what?
Ascended to heaven.
Come on.
And the Lord was provoked at this and at all the works of the city of Sodom, for they had abundance of food and had tranquility amongst them, and still would not sustain the poor and the needy. And in those days their evil doings and sins became great before the Lord.
I'm gonna hold it there. To let you know, like, look, the Most High saw all that was going on down in Sodom and Gomorrah, man. They had riches. They had the riches to feed the homeless and the poor. If you look at America now, it's like, look, they got riches to feed the homeless and the poor. They got it, but they choose not to. That's why the Most High have to destroy America. Has to. They have nothing but riches. We can feed the homeless people. We can put homeless people into houses, drive cars, and jobs. They can do it, but they choose not to. They choose to be evil, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why they have to receive the same punishment. It's a mirror image. Sodom and Gomorrah, we see it ourselves every single day. I hold that thought, bro. We're gonna go. You got some? Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna go to 1 Kings chapter 13. Yeah. Yeah, man, we have to stay on the path, family.
First Kings.
Yeah, 1 Kings chapter 13.
What's up, Rick? What's up, Rick? What's that over there?
Yeah, you gotta stay on that path. The Most High give you. Makes sense. All right, y'all. We in 1 Kings 13.
Rick.
You know the story.
I'm there, bro.
No. Yeah. 1 Kings 13, verse 1.
Yeah,
1 Kings chapter 13.
I think we're. Oh, okay.
1 Kings chapter 13, verse 1. And behold, there came a man of Yah out of Judah,
Right.
by the word of the master unto Bethel.
Mm.
And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Most High, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith Yah, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David,
Mm.
Uzziah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee,
Right.
and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which Yahweh has spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of Yah, which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him.
Or arrest them.
And his hand which he put forth against him dried up.
He did what?
Dried up,
Come on.
so that he could not pull it in again to him.
Come on.
The altar was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of Yah had given by the word of the master. And the king answered and said unto the man of Yah, entreat now the face of the Most High, thy Elohim, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of Yahweh besought the Most High, and the king's hand was restored him again, and became as it was before.
Remember, this is a man of God, right? He's giving out orders. He's telling what's going to happen, and he prayed to the Most High, and this man's arm ended up being restored unto him. Remember, it said this is a man of God. Come on.
And the king said unto the man of Yahweh, come home with me, and refresh thyself,
Right.
and I will give thee a reward. And the man of Yah said unto the king,
What'd he say?
if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee.
That's right.
Neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place.
Come on.
For so was it charged me.
It was what?
For so was it charged me
Right.
by the word of the Most High, saying, eat no bread.
Eat what?
Eat no bread,
Come on.
nor drink water,
Right.
nor turn again by the same way that thou camest.
So look, he said, look, even if you gave me half of your crib, I still wouldn't go. He said, the Most High told me I can't eat nor drink. I can't eat bread, nor I can't drink water, nor turn back to the place that I just left. I'm supposed to stay on my path, right? Come on.
So he went another way, and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel.
Dwelt the who?
An old prophet in Bethel. And his sons came and told him all the works that the man of Yahweh had done that day in Bethel. And that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king, them they told also to their father.
Come on.
And their father said unto them, what way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of Yah went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon, and went after the man of Yah, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, art thou the man of Yahweh that camest from Judah? And he said, I am.
Come on.
Then he said unto him, come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place.
So look, the same thing that he told the king, he's telling the old prophet that too. The old prophet heard about what he has done because his sons came and told him. He's like, okay, we'll worry yet. They saddled the ass and they followed him, saw him up under the oak tree. And he's telling him, like, look, come to my crib, sit, shop in my crib. I got food and drink. Just come to my place and I got you. And remember, he's an old prophet, So I mean, the Most High used to deal with him. Come on.
And he said unto him, I'm a prophet also.
I'm a what?
I am a prophet also.
He said, look, I'm a prophet also. Then you know, whether it's a prophet, an angel, man, or a woman, if the Most High tell you to go a straight path, that's what he means. Whether anybody come and tell you to get off the path, whether it's friend, foe, yeah, a prophet, whoever, you have to keep that charge to stay on that path. Come on.
He said unto him, I'm a prophet also, as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Most High, saying, bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. But he lied unto him.
Come on.
So he went back with him.
So look, it's about that. It's about that. He straight lied to him to get him off his path. You know what I mean? He's an old prophet, meaning at one point the Most High dealt with him, right? But this man knew his mission. He told the king and he told the old prophet, look, the Most High gave me a mission. I'm here to prophesy against Jeroboam. You know what I mean? His arm got restored. I ain't supposed to accept y'all food, y'all water, none of it. I can't even go back the way I came. I got to return back a whole different way. You know what I mean? So then he said, well, look, I'm a prophet too. It don't matter. He said, well, an angel told me, don't matter. You feel me? You didn't get the memo. The Most High gave you the mission, right? And then he ain't coming to holler at you and say, oh, change the plans. This man pop up claiming he a prophet. And an angel showed him something, right? I'll show you how serious this is. Just real quick. Galatians 1, verse 8. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Meaning let him be damned. It's about this. As we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or Yah? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of the Messiah. So even Paul said that hundreds of years later, if an angel come to you, teaching you something or telling you something different than what the Most High has already certified, count that angel as cursed. Right? This man says, well, I'm a prophet too. And an angel told me change the plans for you. But when we just read, it don't matter if an angel show up.
Right.
Looking like he came out, stepped out the fourth dimension. It don't even matter. No, I ain't get the memo. Bye. Rebuke him or something. I ain't get that memo. I was told to do this, that, and that's it. Why, y'all? Because life and death is on this thing. Right. If the Most High charge you with something or charge you to say something, you got to execute that and carry it out. You feel me? Other than that, he can just give his word to anybody. You know what I mean? Just some chump suck or whatever, and it'll never get accomplished. If he charge you with something, you got to get that done. You got to execute with superposition.
That's right.
Right? So he was on it. Right? He may have been on his path 75%, but the Most High requires 100% from us. Right. He requires 100%, not 75. Let's keep reading this so we get interesting.
Come on with it, bro.
1 Kings chapter 13, verse 19. So he went back with him,
right,
and did eat bread in his house.
He did what?
And eat bread in his house.
Right.
And drank water.
So look, he broke the command, right? He ate bread and he drank the water. Remember, he told the king he ain't supposed to eat bread or drink the water. But now he heard that he's an old prophet. He's like, okay, he an old prophet. The Most High is with him. I'm going to listen to you. You said the angel came and spoke to you. That's what it is then. Come on. It's crazy.
Dang.
And it came to pass, as they sat at the table,
right,
that the word of Yahweh came unto the prophet that brought him back.
Come on.
And he cried unto the man of Yah that came from Judah, saying, thus saith the Most High, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of Yah.
So now the word of God is coming to the prophet. Now the prophet can tell the truth, right? This is the word of God coming to the prophet. What the prophet say?
The
old prophet.
Straight like while he's sitting at his table, eating and drinking, even though the old prophet lied to him. the Most High spoke through the old prophet and say, "Thus saith the Lord."
Could you imagine that?
Oh,
You just sitting at the table, you finna eat, and
man.
then a word of the Most High come from the old prophet and says this. Come on.
And has not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and has eaten bread and drunk water in the place of the which the Most High did say to thee, eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass.
You ain't even be buried with your fathers.
Right.
And that was big in our day. You know what I mean? Bury me with my fathers. Like you transgress, boy, you gonna be in a ditch somewhere.
It's crazy.
And it came to pass after he had eaten bread, and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him. A lion met him by the way, and slew him.
And did what?
And slew him. And his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass.
So by him disobeying the commandments of God, a whole lion came and killed him, destroyed him, from going off the path.
Let the ass up.
And
They both
they both chilling, right?
They both chilling.
And then you see the lion. Normally the lion would eat the ass. He just sitting there with him,
sitting there,
chilling,
looking at his corpse. Man,
that's crazy. But that's why we have to stay on the straight and narrow path. We have to stay on the path. Like we can't have our hands to the plow and look back. That's what he's saying. It's like he looked back. That was the whole thing. He looked back. We can't look back. Just like with Lot's wife, she looked back just to see the destruction, and it's still she turned to a pillow of salt. Like we have to stay on that path. We have to, by all means. Even if somebody come and tell you to get off the path, whether they are a prophet like he was, a king or whoever, don't matter. Stay on that path. Come on.
Verse 26. Verse 25. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, it is the man of Yahweh who was disobedient. Who was disobedient unto the word of Yah. Therefore, the Most High has delivered him unto the lion, which has torn him. Which has torn him, and slain him, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spake unto him. And he spake to his son, saying, saddle me the ass. And they saddled him.
So another thing is like when we disobey the commandments of God, like with this, it's something that happened physically. Like with us now, we understand it's a spiritual war. Then you get plagued with certain demons inside your own mindset. Those same spirits that was cast onto Saul could be cast onto you. So that's why we have to be obedient. That's why the wages of sin is death. We have to be obedient. Like no one wants to be plagued in the mind. Like that's the worst place. It's like ever been in like that's worse than prison. Like the imprisonment in your own mind. That's worse than going to jail. I mean, some people can go to jail, do a year and be straight. But just imagine doing a year inside your own head. Like you in your own mind. Can't nobody help you out your own mind. I can't lean to this brother to help me out my mind. I can't lean to this brother to help me get myself out my own mind. Like that's the worst place to be.
The sunken place.
The sunken place. Straight up. That's deep depression. And you know another thing that's like worse than death is unforgiving. Unforgiveness is like worse than death. A lot of people think death is like the end road. Like no, unforgiveness is worse than death.
Yeah, it leads to bitterness.
So you'll straight kill yourself mentally and physically. You have to stay focused. Come on with it, bro.
Verse 28. And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of Yah, and laid it upon the ass, and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him.
Come on.
And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his sons, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of Yah is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones.
Hold it thought. Hold it thought. We're going to the Apocrypha. We're gonna go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7. We're gonna start on verse 1.
So is there a judgment for the old prophet?
I was just about to ask that, man. Like, how did he was the one who spread, led the man astray. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
Exactly. So there is a judgment for
just
lying
say-
and being a stumbling block. You know what I mean? I think where everybody get perplexed at is how he was able to lie in one breath, and then the next breath, the Most High used him to speak and pronounce the judgment. You know what I mean? But the Most High in the Bible made a donkey speak. You know what I mean? He can use whoever to speak his word. But yeah, definitely, there definitely is a judgment for lying if it's unrepentant of being a stumbling block. You know what I mean? But even more for us that have a charge or a commission from the Almighty to get something done. You know, we supposed to read it and be like, let me stay on my job.
Right.
Let me stay focused no matter what I got going on in life. You know what I mean? You may have problems, on your jobs and your marriages, whatever. Whatever you got going on, nothing should take you off the path that the Most High has you on. Nothing at all. You know what I mean? These things were written for our learning. That we say, you know what, I ain't making that mistake. I don't care what's going on. You feel me? I have to stay focused and finish. That's what happened. He dropped his guards. You know what I mean? He straight dropped his guards. And dude straight lied to him and told him the angel came to him. And then how the Most High moved, he moved his spirit on him and pronounced his judgment. So yeah, you know what I mean? But that's why that scripture we read earlier in Galatians said, even if an angel show up, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about heavenly garments fresh out the fourth dimension and tell you something contrary to what you've been commanded. Count that messenger as cursed. You know what I mean? You better not follow that. Because if the Most High had to change the plans, he'll let you know about what it is. But yeah, there's definitely a judgment for being a stumbling block. You know what I mean? For lying, right? And there's also a judgment for us turning back or taking our hand off the plow. That's in this Luke 9 right here. It says the high cost of discipleship. If I can read this real quick.
go ahead.
Luke 9:57 through 62. All right, and the subtitle says the high cost of discipleship. It says, and it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Master, I will follow thee or follow you whithersoever or wherever you go. And Yahushua the Messiah said unto him, the foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. Look, you gonna follow me, but most of the time who we call the Son of God in the Bible was what you would call homeless. Most nights he didn't have a place to go back to. You understand? He was out here straight doing the work of the Almighty. So you would have to consider that saying, I'm about to be your disciple. He's like, well, look, I ain't got no place to lay my head tonight. Are you sure you want to follow me? Because I ain't got what they call them, pillow top mattress.
Right.
You know what I mean? A comfortable mattress. You like Certifit. I ain't got none of that.
Blow it,
You know what I mean? I don't got an address to receive mail at most nights. I'm moving around, you know what I'm saying? Preaching and teaching and showing the power of the coming kingdom. You said you're going to follow him whithersoever he's going. Well, you would have to consider to follow him would mean most nights what? For you. You will be homeless too. Are you willing to give up or sacrifice, you understand, to get something great? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Master, suffer me or allow me first to go and bury my father. Understand, I got a funeral to go to. Right? Watch this. But Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou or go you and preach the kingdom of God. In other words, let the spiritually dead bury the physical dead. Remember, you're going to follow me. I may have work for you to do. You may not be able to go to your father's funeral. Dang. Now, you know, you're going to be talked bad like a dog. You don't show up at your father's funeral. Your whole family going to drag you. What you mean you ain't come to the funeral? But you remember, we talking about staying on the path. The master gave you a mission. Understand? So he said, let the spiritually dead bury the physical dead. You go preach and teach and bring forth this kingdom. You know what I mean? Watch this. And another said, Master, I will follow you, but let me first go bid them farewell which are at home at my house. Let me go say bye to everybody. Well, you know how that be. You run up on you, hey, I'm about to go. You know what I mean? Well, where you going, boy? You know, I'm following the homeless preacher. The state.
You doing what?
Baby, child, you doing? Oh no, that's a coach. You did. I'm gonna go, but let me go home first. Right? Watch this. And the Messiah said to him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yah. That goes back to the story Uriel just finished edifying about. That man put his hand to the plow, but he looked back. And it cost him his life. So in this thing, y'all, you got to be all in. It ain't nothing. It ain't no 50%, 75%. Yeah, people gonna think you crazy most of the time. Man, you crazy. You know what I mean? But they said the same thing about who we call Yahushua the Messiah. Right. They thought he was Messiah himself. They said the same thing about John the Baptist. That man lived out in the desert. You feel me? You got a leather girdle on and he eat grasshoppers and drink honey. But that was God's man. You know what I mean? They said the same thing about Isaiah, Jeremiah, even the great women of the Bible, Judith, Esther, you know what I mean? Sarah, Susanna, the ones that the Most High deal with, society ain't gonna put their stamp of approval on. You're gonna be called crazy as hell for being that radical and extreme in your mindset. Why are you so dedicated to this? That's what people gonna think. You know what I mean? Because you can see the value in what it is that you're doing. You know, in the end, I received the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? I received everything that they've been looking for since the beginning. Right. Why would I get off that path because a few people got their lips poked out? So what, you be all right? You don't like it, go holler somebody else. Like, that's the mind you got to have in this. Because as soon as you wait for everybody else to stamp you with approval, or worried about what everybody else is saying, you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. You got to be like, look, I don't care what none of y'all got to say. I'd rather have all y'all mad at me than who? Man, all day. And let all 7 billion inhabitants of this earth be mad at me. You be all right. What you want to do? Yeah, you be all right. But I'd rather have y'all mad at me than the Almighty. Stay on your path. You feel me? So you can be considered fit or worthy for the kingdom. You know what I mean? All praises. What we at?
2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 6.
Yeah.
I just want to land back off what our brother Malaki said. Verse 8. Romans chapter 8, verse 38. This basically just sums it up. Romans chapter 8, verse 38. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Yahushua HaMashiach, our master. And so basically what he's saying is like for me, for instance, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, it's a wrap. You know, I have nowhere to go and I have nothing to do besides what we're doing right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? And I would take no joy in doing anything else. You know what I mean? Real talk. I would take no joy. What I used to do or whatever, you know, prior to all this, you know, it's like I can't even imagine me doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you ever threw up off of some beer or some liquor or something like that, you smell it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to even smell it no more. And then, like what you was just saying, you know, the scripture says, you know, don't be like a dog going back to his vomit.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So for us that are really truly mentally already like there, like, hey, it's a wrap for me, you know. And we just kind of have to show our brothers and our sisters, you know what I'm saying, the same thing. Like, this is how we have to be. You know what I mean? You can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know what I'm saying? You have to be totally, fully focused up on it. Period, man.
Yeah,
no double dutch.
That was a war strategy that Napoleon, the Italian heathen used with his army. You know what I'm saying? They go to conquer somewhere by sea or whatever. They get there, he burned all his ships. Burn them. You know what I mean? To put in his army's head, there ain't no going back to we conquer. Where we at? They burn ships. Now you ask yourself, have all the ships been burnt where you at? Because for me, it ain't no going back. Like my aunt just said, all the bridges have been burnt. Yep. All the ships have been burnt. Yep. In other words, look, we got to finish what we set out to do. There ain't no going back at that point. And say that, and that's what he used to do. He'll burn all his ships. So the whole army like, dang. Well, either we about to conquer or die here, buddies. Right. Fellas, either we gonna conquer or we dead men walking.
That's right.
Either way, but they're putting everybody's mind like, oh, okay, we need to go ahead and win this. You know what I mean? Because as long as you know you got to escape, then you ain't gonna give it your all. You know what I mean? You be lukewarm. But if you know, like, hey, look, either we winning or we dying, you gonna give it your all to win. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I feel what I'm saying. What he's basically saying is what Paul said in Romans 8. I'm fully persuaded, no matter what's going on, I ain't turning back. And that's how we all got to be in this thing. You know what I mean? It tells you in the Revelation, look, the Lord do not deal with lukewarm. Right. And look, anything you do in life, say you got a business venture you deal with, or whatever, you ain't about to be successful being lukewarm in it. Not being on time, not really doing your research behind it. You know what I mean? You just, I'm in the real estate. But boy, you ain't invested in one property. How you in the real estate? Like, what are you out there doing? You ain't did no research, you ain't did nothing. You just claiming you in the real estate. Anything you do, you gotta be all in to be great at it. That's right. That's the point. You know what I mean? Why would it be any different in this? Even more in this. You dig? Let's get it. What we at?
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 6.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 6. That's in the Apocrypha family. Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field.
Right.
And is full of all good things.
So imagine a city, right? It's on a field, and they got nothing but good things surrounding it, right? Everything that you want is in this city, and it's on this field, right? Come on.
The entrance, therefore, is narrow.
Is what?
Is narrow.
Come on.
And is set in a dangerous place to fall.
Right.
Like as if there were a fire on the right hand.
Right.
And on the left hand, a deep water.
So can you imagine, like, you trying to get into this city, but it's a straight and narrow path, and on this side is fire, and on this side is water. And you trying to get down this path. If you fall off, you either gonna burn or you're gonna drown. Right? Either gonna burn or drown. So then you know, like on that straight and narrow path, if you fall off that straight and narrow path, either you're gonna burn or you're gonna drown. That's why Christ says what? Into what? Straight and narrow. Straight and narrow. Come on.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once.
Come on.
If this city now were given unto a man,
And remember, it said only one man can go there at once, right? Remember what the Messiah said. He said many men gonna seek to get in, but only a few gonna make it through that gate. And that's what he's saying. He said, look, it's so small, only one man can get in. Come on.
unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it,
Right.
how shall he receive this inheritance?
So look, at the end of the day, it's like the things that everybody reject, like the Most High would choose the rejected ones. That's who he chooses. God always chooses the rejected ones. If you look at scripture, what it is, everybody who was rejected or the ones who God dealt with. And look at Moses, right? Look at David. Look at he was rejected by his brothers, but David was the one who killed Goliath. You know what I'm saying? Joseph, he was rejected by his brothers, but he was the one who was the right hand man to Joseph. Paul with the Pharisees, but he was the ones that he was gathering Israel together. He was getting them together. Those who are rejected, those are the ones that are actually bringing God's people together. Gideon. So everything, so the path where it looks like it's wrong, that look like that ain't the path to go down. That's the path you might need to be choosing. Yeah, that's the path that's gonna get you to the Most High. The path that look good gonna be the path that leads you to destruction.
Right, the path everybody's on.
Right.
Everybody going in. You know what I mean? No, the thin, narrow path.
Come on with it, bro.
And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Come on.
Because for their sakes I made the world. I'm gonna read that again. Because for their sakes I made the world.
Hallelujah.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
So because of Adam's disobedience, that's what happens. Now we have to fight to get through that straight and narrow path. Before we was already on the path. Adam and Eve was already in the Garden of Eden. They was already in the path of life. They was already there. But since they went against God, now each and every one of us that path had got shrunken, like brother was saying, but now each and every one of us have to strive to enter through rest. We have to each and every day. Because of one person's decision to move off the path. Because of one decision moved off the
I
path.
think the first time the Most High did something like that, where because of one person's decision, the whole body went. What happened when they went to go conquer something? And he said, "Don't go and take their linen and they
Yeah, they
Joshua.
yeah, he did that. Everybody ate him.
Yeah. In that book of Joshua. Yeah. Somebody went and grabbed the cursed thing.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? He went off on his own little thing. He grabbed what he wasn't supposed to grab. And a plague broke out.
For everybody.
Man,
For everybody.
What?
But one person. So it's like we have to, like, the decisions that you make can affect your brother behind you.
That's right.
Or the decisions that he make can affect the brother that's in front of him. It's like we all connected. We all one body. That's why we have to be careful of the decisions that we make day in and day out. Whether it's when we together or not together. Those are the decisions that matters the most, especially when you're not around people. Those are the ones that get counted the most, not the decisions you make when you're around your brothers and sisters. Come on.
Verse 12. Then were the entrance of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and very painful. For the entrance of the elder world were wide and short, and brought immortal fruit.
Come on.
If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
So look, if we can't make it through certain things, just like prime example, just like the seeds that fall on stony ground. Like you look at all those different seeds or whatnot, those seeds fell on stony places. Those are places, right? if these seeds choose to go after the things of the world, they will never make it. If you have these that get offended by anything that the Bible says or whatnot, you know, like their family members don't agree with, like bro saying they call you crazy or whatnot, those people, they'll stray away from the truth too. Or if me and him don't agree on something or whatnot, and then you watching us and you'll stay away from the truth. It's like we accountable for all that.
That's right.
We're accountable for each and every act. That's why once we take ourselves out the picture, once you take self out the picture and like, look, I'm gonna take myself out the picture. We have to do what thus says the Lord. It ain't about what's right. It's who's right. It's like what's thus says the Lord. And then everything else you put on the back burner. So look, I was tripping. We have to stay on that straight and narrow path.
Especially now, you know what I'm saying, with what's going on, as we can see what's going on in the world today. You know, a lot of fugazi things are going on, you know what I mean? All kinds of different doctrines, this, that, and the third. You know, I live next to, well, I don't live, I stay next to I'm a fat sodomite, abomination, you know what I'm saying, and a whore, you know, and I was coming in the
When you
whore.
said that, boy said that with conviction.
Right, in a whore.
Yeah.
He meant that.
I'm bro, look, y'all, I'm coming in right from work, right, and I see the fat abomination, you know what I'm saying, and then I see this whore right coming right behind him, and she got on a shirt, right, you know what I'm saying, and you know you all, we look and see, you know, what our, you know what I mean, and her breasts is look, her shirt is open, right? She ain't got nothing up underneath, right? And her breasts is just swinging from left to right, you know what I mean? And I'm like thinking to myself, what the hell is wrong with you, woman? What is wrong with you? And I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, when my daughter thinks, and she be like, oh, but that's wicked. Then my son, you know what I'm saying, now he gotta look and whatever. Man, I hate this place. Plain and simple, I hate this place. I want to wake up, you know what I'm saying, to see y'all. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see y'all. I'm gonna see y'all faces. I want to see y'all faces. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to wake up, you know, and see what I've been seeing. That is truly horrible. You know what I mean? And by us, like what my brother said, by us going on a straight and narrow path, you know, we have to put blinders on. You know what I mean? To this and to that, because we can easily get distracted. I can easily just go off. You know what I'm saying? And pistol with this fat bastard. You know what I'm saying?
Don't go up.
I'm just saying though, it can easily happen like that, y'all. So by us staying on a straight and narrow path, you know what I mean, we're gonna get to our destination, you know, but we have to stay focused, like what he said. We truly have to stay focused, because a lot of things are gonna happen in the future. As we know, tribulation is coming, y'all. Tribulation is coming, and tribulation that the world has never seen before. You know what I mean? And if we're not prepared now, or we're not at least trying to be prepared, we're gonna get ran through. That's it.
All right, we're gonna go to Jude. We're gonna do yeah, 5 through 8, and then we're gonna hit the book of Enoch, and then we'll wrap it up.
Excellent class, my brother.
All praises.
Yeah.
Jude.
5 through 8.
Yeah, 5 through 8.
Hey.
The path consists of being a light too, man. That's the only way we're gonna be able to bring other people to the flock, is being on the straight path and they seeing
Yeah. Jude chapter 1, verse 5.
We want to do 5 through 8.
I would therefore put
I can hear your conversations. We're gonna go to the back if y'all gonna talk. Come on with it.
I would therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Most High, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt,
Right.
afterward destroyed them that believe not.
Come on.
And the angels,
And the who?
And the angels,
Right.
which kept not their first estate.
Kept what?
Kept not their first estate.
So look, these angels, right? They didn't keep their first estate. Their first estate was in the heavens, right? So they got off their path. The angels that was in heaven got off their path. They let Satan plant seeds inside of their mind, and then they got off their path. And these are angels. Come on. What it say?
But left their own habitation. He had reserved in everlasting chains,
right,
under darkness.
Come on.
Unto the judgment of the great day.
So look, these same angels, they left their first estate. They left their path. They wanted to come down here and mate with the women, and then they birthed the giants. Since they left their first estate, they would never get back into heaven. Never. Now they reserve in everlasting darkness forever. Just because they slipped off the path. Come on.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
And the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
Now we read about Sodom and Gomorrah. Come on.
And going after strange flesh.
Come on.
Are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
So look, when the Most High rained down fire and brimstones, he was showing us that's going to be the end game for whoever wants to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah. The hellfire that he rained down, that fire and brimstone, you get the lake of fire that burns forever. And that is set forth for an example for us to get it right.
Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities.
Hold that thought. So since we talking about the angels, we're gonna go to the book of Enoch real quick. We're just gonna read a couple verses. Book of Enoch, chapter 13. We're gonna start on chapter 13.
Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
Which book?
The first book of Enoch.
Book of Enoch, chapter 13. Verse what?
Verse 1.
Verse 1.
Oh, I get it right.
Let me say this is right.
Yeah, that's it. It'll just read a little different, but I get you. Make it bigger.
Unless you want to read right here.
No, go ahead.
Enoch chapter 13, verse 1. Then Enoch, passing on, said to Azazel, thou shalt not obtain peace.
Right.
A great sentence is gone forth against thee. He shall bind thee, neither shall relief, mercy, and supplication be thine, on account of the oppression which thou hast taught, and on account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin, which thou hast discovered to the children of men.
Come on.
Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplications, that they might obtain forgiveness.
That they might what?
Obtain forgiveness.
So it lets you know, like, once you slip off your path, now you looking for somebody else to try to get you back to God, because you slipped off the path. Come on.
And that I might make the memorial of their prayers ascend up before the Most High of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforward address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplication for their spirits, for everything which they had done, and for the subject of their entreaty, that they might obtain remission and rest. Proceeding on, I continue over the waters of Dan Badan, which is on the right of the west of Arman, reading the memorial of their prayers until I fell asleep.
I go down to chapter 15 for you.
Enoch chapter 15.
Yeah. These little small little chapters.
Then addressing me, he spake and said, hear, neither be afraid, O righteous Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, approach hither and hear my voice. Go, say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to pray for them. You ought to pray for men, and not men for you.
So look, now you see the Most High is talking to Enoch. He said, look, go ahead, tell the angels they supposed to be praying for you, not you praying for them. That's how you know they slipped off the path. It's like as soon as you slip off the path, now you start going backwards. You start to go backwards. Come on.
Wherefore have you forsaken the lofty and holy heaven?
I did what?
You have forsaken the lofty and holy
So
heaven,
now you know they left their what? First estate. So that's what Jude was talking about. Come on.
which endures forever, and have lain with women, have defiled yourself with the daughters of men, have taken to yourselves wives, have acted like the sons of the earth, and have begotten an impious offspring. You, being spiritual, holy, and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourselves with women, have begotten in carnal blood, have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. These, however, die and perish. Therefore have I given to them wives, that they might cohabit with them, that sons might be born of them, and that this might be transacted upon earth. But you, from the beginning, were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death forever. Therefore I made not wise for you, because being spiritual, your dwelling is in heaven. Now the giants who been born of spirit and of flesh shall be called upon the earth evil spirits, and on the earth shall be their habitation. Evil spirits shall proceed from their flesh, because they were created from above, from the holy watchers was their beginning, and primary foundation. Evil spirits shall they be upon earth, and the spirits of the wicked shall they be called. The habitation of the spirits of heaven shall be in heaven, but upon earth shall be the habitation of terrestrial spirits who are born on earth. The spirits of the giants shall be like clouds, which shall oppress, corrupt, fall, contend, and bruise upon the earth. They shall cause lamentation. No food shall they eat, and they shall be thirsty. They shall be concealed, and shall not one rise up against the sons of men and against women, for they come forth during the days of slaughter and destruction.
So it's like all this because they left their first estate. It's like you know, because since they left their first estate, they caused the women to go off. Then they birthed these giants. Then the giant spirits now they roam the earth. Those are the same spirits that hunted Saul. It's like because of one action of going off the path, it's like everything else falls off. So that's why we have to be careful. We have to stay on that straight and narrow path, no matter what. Yeah, that's it. Good.
Finish your job.
Yeah, finish your job, fam.
Focus out here.
You said what, bro?
That's a big say like just having to meditate so fed in with just said
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how much the Most High, you know what I mean, love us. Because, you know what I mean, we all went off,
right.
And he grants repentance.
Man.
And allow us, you know what I mean, still come before his throne. But those who we just read about finished.
Yeah, done. It's like
you know
they
Thank
get
him for his mercy and his grace, man.
for real. They get no repentance.
Excuse to continue in your wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Wage war against things. He can easily declare that about one of us. Look, you finished, I'm cutting you off. Like, dang. It's over for thou.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And take it serious. Yeah. You got anything, bro?
I would like to say shalom. I would like everybody to meet my daughter Nunu.
No, how you doing, Nunu? That's Nunu right there.
Yeah, that's my
Blessing,
Shalom, sis.
blessing.
That's my oldest daughter. That's her business partner back there, Ricky. You know what I'm saying? Ricky, I was about to say Ricky Ricardo, but his name is Ricky. And
Welcome, family. Welcome.
Shalom, my brother.
All praise.
to them, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if they dealing with each other or something like that. They saying that they friends and all
Hey,
that.
man.
But every time I see them,
Hey, with that being said, fam, you know your brother. What?
Hey, man, this guy here.
Right.
Leave it up there.
Right. Oh, man. Hey, boy, he get 13 seconds, Mike, for now. That's it.
Hey, y'all, we have to censor his mic sometimes, bro. You get mute.
Yeah.
Get mute on
y'all
him.
know, but y'all know, I'm your
Turn
brother.
around.
Man,
Psalms
cut
chapter
it.
40, Psalms chapter 45, man. Oh,
99.
Tonight, then we gonna pray against the force of darkness. Y'all, we pray, we face Jerusalem, we pray. Tell you that the Bible, 1 Kings 8 chapter, Daniel 6 chapter, when he was captive in Babylon, he would face Jerusalem 3 times a day, offer prayers. Women are to cover their heads when praying and prophesying. Men are to uncover their heads. Let's face Jerusalem. Let's offer prayers and petition to the Creator of heaven and earth, the mighty one of Jacob. You know what I mean? Let's declare war on the kingdom of darkness. And enjoy the rest of the Shabbat. You know what I mean? Let's get it done. Hey, YAH'KI, man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and roar, man.
yes, sir. Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean?
Yes,
Hold
sir.
on, hold on. Get you together. Make sure you got some slack. And you're a little slack there, but all good. All praises. Let's get her done.
Psalms 99. The Most High reigneth.
That's right.
Let the people tremble. He sitteth between the cherubims. Let the earth be moved. The Lord is great in Zion, and he is high above all people.
That's right.
Let them praise thy great and terrible name, for it is holy. The king's strength also loveth judgment. Thou doest establish equity. Thou execute judgments and righteousness in Jacob. Exalt ye the Most High, our Elohim, and worship at his footstool, for he is holy. Moses and Aaron among his priests, and Samuel among them that called upon his name. They called upon Yahweh, and he answered them. He spake unto them in the cloud pillar that kept his testimonies, and the ordinance that he gave them. Thou answered them, O Yahweh, our Elohim. Thou wast a God that forgavest them, though they forsook vengeance of their inventions. Exalt, exalt, exalt the Most High, our Elohim, and worship at his holy hill.
Hallelujah.
For the Most High, our Elohim, is holy.
Hallelujah. Selah.
Yahoo.
A prayer against all the evil, greedy conspirators and the highest workers of Satan. Yahweh El Elyon, we come to you in the name of Ha'adon, the Master, Yahushua Mashiach. We take authority over Satan and all his evil spirits from our position at the right hand of you, Yahweh, seated above every name that is named, in the power and the authority of Adon, the Master, Yahushua Mashiach. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against and attack, to break the back and bind the strong man powerless over every heathen nation that is oppressing the 12 tribes of Israel this very second. We cast them down and we cast them out to a herd of swine in the name and the authority of Yahushua Mashiach. And by his mighty and precious blood, we pray, use us as your battle axe and weapons of war. We loosen all your ministering angels of warfare. Send forth your most militant and elite angelic warriors to break the backs and crack the skulls of every ruler of darkness, to break the backs and crack the skulls of every principality over all the worldwide organizations, the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, the Rothschild bloodline, the Astor bloodline, the Bundy bloodline, the Collins bloodline, the DuPont bloodline, the Freeman bloodline, the Kennedy bloodline, the Lee bloodline, the Onassis bloodline, the Rockefeller bloodline, the Russell bloodline, the Van Dunn bloodline, and the Merovingian bloodline, the house of Saud over Saudi Arabia, the house of Windsor, all the popes, Ayatollah Khomeini, Jared Kushner, Bill and Melinda Gates, Anthony Fauci, Henry Kissinger, all their bloodlines.
That's right.
We bind all of them powerless. We bind the strong man over every Masonic order and every religion, the Catholic Church and Vatican City, communist empires and Yahudahs governments, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, the CIA, MS-13, La Cosa Nostra, the Mafia, Boko Haram and Hamas, every street gang and drug cartel, the Illuminati, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the World Council of Churches, the Americas, every common market nation, Canada and Mexico, every organization that has rituals that are contrary to the word of Yahweh and the authority in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. We take authority over all foul and evil spirits, authorities, princes, kings, powers, world rulers, and the highest and mightiest soldiers of Satan. We bind them to be powerless. The adversary madness did. We bind them to be powerless. We bind them to be powerless in the mighty name of Yahushua Mashiach. Yahweh and the authority of Adon Yahushua. We pronounce the judgments written in the scriptures upon these evil and greedy conspirators in and over these worldwide organizations. As it is written, Yah, we ask you, we beg you to bring upon them the judgments found in Psalm 109, that chapter, Psalm 149, that chapter, in Revelation 18, that chapter, Yahweh El Elyon, the owner, the creator, possessor of all there is, in the name of your only begotten beloved Son, Yahushua Mashiach. We bring before your throne all the sick in Israel, all who may be plagued in mind, body, or spirit. Your word says whatever we bind on earth is bound in heaven, and whatever we loose on earth is loosed in heaven. We claim authority. We claim authority in Yahushua Mashiach, who is seated at your right hand right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Loosen all your ministering angels of health. Command them to rain down a healing that is complete. A healing that is understood right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against an attack, to break the back and bind the strong man called the coronavirus and the fear of it that's plaguing the minds of your people. We declare it powerless. We cast it down and we cast it out to a herd of swine. Use us as your battle axe and weapons of war to come against an attack, to break the back and bind up every sickness and disease that's afflicting your people this very second. We declare them all powerless. We cancel and terminate them all by the blood of Yahushua Mashiach. And in his mighty and precious name, we cast it down and we cast them out to a herd of swine in the authority of Yahushua Mashiach. And by his mighty and precious blood, we pray Yahweh El Elyon, Yahweh Zebaoth, the master of the heavenly armies. We loosen all your ministering angels of warfare. Command them to rain down and crack the skulls of every virus and every sickness that's plaguing your people this very second. Command them to establish a protective border around your saints. Command them to come against, confound, and put down every sickness and unclean spirit that is in opposition to the well-being of your people. Command them to render a judgment in our favor right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach. And by his mighty and precious blood, we pray Yahweh El Elyon, Yahweh Yireh. We loosen your ministering angels of provision and blessings. Command them to shower us with the blessings of Abraham, your friend. Command the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 to chase us down and overtake us. Command Ruach HaKodesh to give us a continual overflow of your spirit. Command the fruits, the gifts, and signs of Ruach HaKodesh to chase us down and overtake us. That wherever the sole of our feet tread, we may boldly declare the kingdom of heaven is now. Right now. 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 Accept our prayer and accept our petition in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. And by his mighty and precious blood, we pray and we declare war on Satan and the kingdom of darkness. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Ah. Yeah, boy.
Profusely,
Forehead
boy.
sweating.
Yes,
I
sir.
sure was on that sweat profusely.
Yes, sir.
Praise God. I don't know who jacked into whatever. Satan jacking into the Wi-Fi.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Music started playing.
What was that? Oh, praise. As
Yeah, I got-
y'all good.
Y'all good? Anybody got any questions?
Not that different. I mean, I'm just saying. So this is
Yeah.
checks, right?
All right, y'all. We about to get on the body.
See, I ain't have.
All praise, glory now to the Most High. We see a whole bunch of hallelujahs. All praise. Thank y'all for y'all prayers and y'all support live with us. Shabbat shalom to everybody that's present with us. Our Charles over there sweating. Mighty y'all with us sweating the little tapes. That means we got most.
So we went to
Y'all, we can go back to same year, follow the eyes, dry eyes.
you gonna see
Blessings with candy and
I mean,
I try to catch you.
or we can activate the spirit. You know what I mean? All praise, glory to God.
yeah, just a
All
little.
praise. All right, y'all, to the next time. Enjoy the rest of y'all Sabbath, y'all.
Yo.